Yeah, I know how to whistle. I honestly could have used more sleep. What's up, guys? I forgot how to say words and things and things and words how to say them. But I'm here, and I can use a nap. Like, I'm so serious. Honestly, if you're watching this, you're listening along, you're viewing this, get more sleep, more water, more sleep. It's necessary. Last week, this week technically, because it's Saturday for me. You'll be seeing this on Monday, or listening. Last week, just drained, like 6 hours a day, a little more, a little less, Monday through Friday, of sleep, and like my whole routine changed. Full hard swap. Back to work. No more being laid off. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck unemployment. Fuck all that extra. Oh, I got to do a side gig. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm right back to the grind. But being back to the grind, I forgot how much it's just like, ugh. It's cool, right? Not being trapped in the house or going out and doing random stuff. But at the same token, it's like, right. I just kind of wish the world was a better place. You know? But forget all that complaining shit. I was going to whine a little bit more. Welcome to the Intelligent Idiots Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Always on Sleepy. Mr. Always on 10. Today I'm trying to go with the theme of wedding day drama. I really can't decide between the two titles of this episode. Just back and forth. I did like a whole little eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing beforehand. And I was like, oh, wedding drama. No, I don't like it. Wedding day drama. I don't know. I might switch out the thumbnails and have it be different from the title of the name. At the same token, I'm like thinking about the future. Oh, what if I do a part 2? Oh, what if I want it to be like slightly different? Because not every single one of these stories today is going to be spot on the exact day of wedding drama, right? Somebody's going to get their head bashed in the following day. And that's not exactly, wedding day drama. That's the day after. It's post-wedding drama. I don't know. Ignore me. I need sleep. Yes, I do. So, we're over in the Am I the Asshole subreddit with a post by Jessie Lynn Reddit. Am I the asshole for bringing my daughter to my own child-free wedding? So my husband, male 29, and I, female 27, just recently got married. We spent almost a year planning the perfect wedding, taking the right precautions, etc. One of our first rules that we decided was that it was a no-kid wedding. We wanted an environment where we wouldn't have to worry about children running around, getting into things, crying, etc. We made it very clear on our invitation that we didn't want anyone to bring children under 14. We did, however, decide that we wanted to bring our daughter, 11 months. Aww. And I wanted to hold her during the reception and photo taking, and then have a family friend drive her home and wait for the babysitter to get there before coming back. Before we settled on our friend, we asked a few people. One of the people we asked was my husband's close friend, Darren's wife, Jessica. Fake names. She declined because she didn't want to drive, which worked out fine as we were able to find someone else. So on the day of the wedding, after we told everyone several times about the no-kid rule, she showed up with her 4-year-old. I was obviously taken aback. I am. But I went to ask her about it. And she told me that since I was bringing my kid, it was okay if she took hers. Honestly, I was furious. I tried to stay calm and tell her that this is a child-free wedding and she can't let her kid run around. But if she took her kid home, she was welcome to come back. She started yelling at me about how since I had a kid, it wasn't fair that she couldn't have hers. Her son at this point was already climbing on things as she just let him run free. I told her that this was her last chance or she'd need to leave. She rolled her eyes, sat down in a chair, and just watched her son run wild. Eventually, her husband Darren convinced her to get her kid and leave, but ruined the whole first part of my wedding. It's been a few weeks now, and I've been thinking maybe I am in the wrong. I said no kids at my wedding, but brought my own. A lot of people in my life are also saying that it was hypocritical at the least. So am I the asshole? Fuck no. It's my party. I can do whatever the fuck. It's my wedding. What is it? What is it? It's my birthday. I can cry if I want to. It's my wedding. I make up the rules. I paid for this venue. I rented out this whole bitch. I spent probably like $100,000 for just a single day, so I can get a fancy ring and sign some paperwork so the government can take a little bit less taxes from me, you know, and I can have nice insurance that my husband potentially has. Or he can have my insurance because I'm that bitch. Like, what are we doing here? What are we? This shit woke me up. This, bruh. If I tell you once, I tell you twice, I tell you 3 times. If I have to tell you a 4th time, obviously, I'm saying it to you while you're bleeding beneath my feet. What? I asked you that to bring my baby to no. I asked you to take my baby to the babysitter after I hold my baby at the reception because I want this to be the only baby here at the wedding, and then the baby not be here at the wedding because these are the rules that I set, and I told everybody, and I told you, you got told more than everyone else technically because I fucking asked you. I asked you, hey, could you do this favor for me? I already know it's a little wild that I'm gonna be doing this, but I wouldn't want my own baby to not be at my wedding. I'm still gonna kick this little crying, whiny little motherfucker out of here, right? I got a babysitter on standby, right? I got a babysitter on standby. After this, I'm about to get blitzed and get fucked on my wedding night. I got a babysitter on standby. Can you just slide out for real quick, 30 minutes, right? By the time you get back, the reception will be started. We all be dancing, having fun, getting fucked up. Hit the electric boogaloo slide. Just do me. Oh, you can't do me this way? That's fine. That's fine. Hey, by the way, don't bring your fucking regrets. I just wanted to remind you for the 15th time, bruh. This woke me up. Top comment with 9.7K upvotes. Have you tried Knots 123? That's your username. Not the asshole. Your wedding, your rules. And an unsupervised, unrelated 4-year-old is a very different to the bride's 11-month-old daughter. 11, well, actually, they said 11-year-old daughter. But OP comments, the 11 months, but also thank you. I'm just worried maybe it seemed it seemed okay, if that makes sense. Girl, it's your wedding. You weren't even like on Bridezilla shit. It's your wedding. This is like, it's so cute. It's so cute. Had your baby been a little bit older, you probably still would have did the same thing. Right? If your baby was like 2 or 3, they would have been the flower girl, and they still would have got booted out. Had the baby been like 7 to 10, they would have been like a junior bridesmaid, and they probably still would have got booted out. If they were 14 plus, they would have been at the reception to eat dinner and then got booted out. Who's not trying to smash on their wedding night? And I can understand if you get blitzed, and I'm just making this too much part of the story. I can understand if you get blitzed, and it's just like I was just sloshed, celebrating too much, and you pass out. You and your husband, you and your wife, you passed out. So it's like, all right. But then you wake up and you don't have to immediately deal with your children because it's the next day because you paid for that babysitter. What? Bruh. Let me read some more comments. I'm actually annoyed. I thought I was gonna have like a bad performance because there's a yawn. Because how sleepy I am. I'm a sleepy boy. 1.4 up. I forgot how to say words. Comment by B Mandalore Tomad. There's a Mandalorian called Tomad. Wait. B Mandalore Tomad? No, because the M isn't capitalized. B Mandalore. I don't care. 1.4K upvotes. I'm going with not the asshole. You never, ever assume your child is welcome to a wedding, especially a small child. Even if you know the happy couple is bringing a child of their own, it doesn't mean you can bring yours. Not to mention that your child is 11 months and hers is 4. Well, everyone's confusing the whole 11-year-olds thing. And I'm inserting months, but this person assumed 11 years old. Most 11-year-olds I know can be trusted to behave themselves for a while, whereas I know a lot of 4-year-olds that don't know what behave yourself means. That she doubled down and watched her kid run wild is a huge screw you. Appalling. And they gotta edit the ass. They misread. They misread 11 months into 11 years. Oh, and they got a good laugh. All right, let me read this. Edit that. I so misread. OP's child is 11 months, not 11 years. My point remains that you never assume your kid is welcome at a wedding. But I had a good laugh at myself when I realized why OP wanted to hold their child in the pictures. Because that's a big ass. I want to hold my 11-year-old. Me, the bride, and my 3-inch heels. You see the difference in my child? They're 4 inches shorter than me. OP replies, my daughter is 11 months. I should have made that more clear. Just edit it. Oh, okay. Maybe Too Mad did misread. Nope, because they reply. Just letting her kid go really felt like it was so intentional to me. Yeah, OP, yeah, girly's a bitch. I'm not gonna hold you. Girly is a bitch. Ooh, we are down. I skipped a lot of comments, but I'm going to the comments where OP replies by Mr. TNMNHNTR. What? Mr. Mr. TNMN Hunter? Teenage Mutant Ninja. Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Hunter. Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Hunter. Is this supposed to be a play on the acronym? So your name is Shredder? Whatever. Info. Where were your husband and Darren in all of this? Darren is your husband's friend, and surely Darren knew his wife was bringing their child to a child-free wedding. And OP replies, Darren was there, sort of just watching on the side awkwardly. My husband was there, but we agreed that he should take the baby elsewhere until Jessica had left. Ooh. And a-hole seeker replies to that, please update us on the fallout between your husband and his spineless friend, Darren. Yeah, I'm so curious. Username 52 comments with 38 upvotes. I really skipped like all the highly upvotes to find OP's comments. It's crazy. Not the asshole for telling her that her kid wasn't welcome. Behavior aside, child free aside, he wasn't invited. There was no seat form, no meal form, etc. Yeah. No seat, no meal, no goodie bags, no children's toys, no play area, no liquor-free mimosas. No, let me stop. However, I do think you're kind of an asshole for asking a friend, hey, I know you have to arrange/pay for childcare, but instead of enjoying my whole wedding, can you spend an hour of it driving my kid home and keep an eye on them until the babysitter comes? and then driving back. Ooh. Ooh. I kind of like that. Ooh. Yeah, because were you offering money? Because here I am, I'm spending money to get pretty as shit. Maybe buy a dress with some heels. Right. Hopefully not a new purse, new earrings. New tongue piercing? Ah. No, let me stop. Two moms, three girls, replies, I disagree. I think it is okay to ask friends and accept a gracious refusal. I don't see the issue here at all. And username 52 replies, two moms, three girls. Why is that your username? Are you a child of two moms, or are you in a relationship with a woman and you have two girls? Huh. Username 52 replies, it doesn't sound like it was a close friend. It was the wife of husband's friend. Sounds like someone they trusted with their kid, but didn't really care if she missed part of the wedding. uh, uh. OP replies to two moms, three girls with their original comment. I appreciate this. And two moms, three girls. Uh, the way Reddit is set up replies to OP. I ask a friend for a favor like this, and I agree to or refuse if I asked. I'm close to my friends. Why do you have a dash here like this? Huh. Also, you are about to hit that place in life where some friendships will go by the wayside because of the way friends parents or don't. Yeah, I'm dropping your bitch ass if you're a weak ass parent. I still miss some friends down the street, but the way the kid treated our kids was unacceptable, and we couldn't get to a place that was comfortable for our kids. Oh, unwanted physical contact. I kind of zoned out reading that. Hmm. 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 Okay, so OP replies to username with their very first comment where they call OP kind of an asshole. I should have elaborated on that more. I'm so sorry. I completely understand this. The person that we ended up settling on actually proposed this idea, and we realized it definitely wasn't okay to expect someone else to be responsible for our child. So the friend that suggested this understood and happily agreed to take her. And username 52 replies, yeah, because it definitely kind of sounds like we trust you with our kid, but don't really care if you miss an hour of our wedding. Also, you don't get to drink. It sounds like your husband is friends with the husband, with Darren, but you guys are indifferent to the wife. Maybe with good reason if she often oversteps boundaries, but still. Yeah, and this is one thing. Why are you cool with her taking your kid home? But we got updates. Updates. Not one, but two. Wow, I was not expecting this to gain this much traction. Darren, Jessica's husband, found this post. He knew it was obviously about them, so yeah, it was probably fake names. So he apologized on both their behalf. Jessica, however, was furious. It's only been a few hours since she messaged me. I haven't responded yet. Seeking advice. Here's her text pasted here. Oh shit. T. Jesse, you are disgusting. Posting our private business online for everyone to see. Really? That honestly just proves how immature you are. Darren might be sorry, but I'm not. I have obviously, absolutely nothing to apologize for. I wanted my son to be there for you on your special day, and I thought you'd appreciate that. You're making your child a spoiled brat, excluding every other child but her. You using fake names just proves you're scared of us and didn't want us to see this. You're making my son seem like a monster for just being a child. I thought I was your best friend. If I was, welcome. He should have been too. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather you just tell me you don't care about or respect me and my family to my face. And the comments? Jeez. I mean, you were really looking for pity, weren't you? You knew the chronically online teens of Reddit would obviously back you up, and that's all you wanted. I'm betting you'll post this to Reddit too. So, hi Reddit. She, fuck. Why'd I read it in that voice? Oh my god! I just like realized halfway while I was reading that I could have read it in my regular voice and put it through a voice changer. Why did I do that? Oh shit. She sent several other messages about my personal health and sensitive topics that weren't relevant to her behavior at all. I'd assume just to make me feel bad. I really don't know what to say to her. I still love her and care about her, but I don't know whether to try to amend this or cut her off. You're asking for advice from me. I'm gonna say, fuck that bitch. Yeah, you're not about to send me no wild ass bunch of messages to the point where you're talking shit about my health. You're aware of this either because your husband told you and he trusts you because you're his wife and he knows this through my husband. Like my husband told your husband, right? So you should either like pretend you don't know or just be accommodating to the shit that you're aware of. Like naturally, right? Like you shouldn't even let it be known that you know. And here you are throwing that shit in my face, attacking me to the point where everything else was told, but this, and sensitive topics. What kind of shit are you texting? Final update. I'm so curious. This update took place 12 days after the first one. Hello again, Reddit. I should have updated this sooner, but here's what happened. I have decided to cut contact with Jessica. I haven't blocked her, but that's for work reasons. I don't text her unless it's for work, and even then I try to keep it short. She's tried to apologize several times, but I don't want to risk something like this happening again. Thank you, everyone, for all your support and advice. You're welcome. I didn't give that much support or advice. Or was I even really there when you originally posted this? Oh man. But I wonder if you guys all work together. Because here it is, you work with her, and your husband and her husband are friends. Did y'all introduce them to each other and they just got closer faster? Or did you just happen to get a job there? Did she just happen to get a job there? Did one of y'all get recommended there by the other person? I'm so curious. This is like a jumbly kind of mess. Just because shit is rocky. How would y'all solve this situation? Because once you start texting me bullshit about my life and my health, well, I mean, of course I'm gonna cuss you out, but after that, if you don't stop, I'm like liable. I don't know. When I crack somebody's head open, I don't know. I'm a swing second kind of person. Because she hasn't sent threats. It's just she's talking mad shit. I don't know. And that's always the number one thing. You don't want to lose your job. You do not want to lose your job, especially over some bullshit. If you can cuss somebody out and make them feel like a piece of shit, and this may have happened, right? Maybe old girl read through the comment section and was like, ooh. Or maybe even her husband with his milquetoast ass was like, baby, like, come on, you're doing too much. I've read through these comments. I was there. The story doesn't differ. You're doing too much. Nobody else brought their kids. Nobody else brought their kids. I'm not even that close to my man's here. I'm not even in the wedding party. We're not in the wedding party. The entire wedding party, all the bridesmaids and the groomsmen have children, and they did not bring theirs. They're all under 14. Was it under 14? Doesn't matter. They're all they're all 4 years old. Everyone here has 4-year-olds except for the bride and the groom. They're just a couple years behind us. Everybody's got 4-year-olds, and we're the only one with a 4-year-old here. And that's actually something really to think about too. Right, because you're paying extra for seats when you're inviting people's entire families. Right. It goes from that partner, that partner, that friend that their partner, their kids, right? So it's a cost of plates multiplying to 2 to 3 to 4 times, seats 2 to 3 to 4 times, right? You're not even like once you're sending out. How does it work? Actually, I'm so curious. Do you plan out? Do you like get the venue first? Like, do you make the list of people? Oh, I got 250. Oh, I got 350. Okay, we got 600 people. So we need this size venue for the reception. And the church is already going to fit this number of people. So these people are going to get invited. Everyone can get invited. Let's say everybody can get invited. If half the people have kids, one child, because on average there's what, like 2 babies? I'm trying to think this out. You go from 600 people to 900 people. You go to 1,000. You got to get 1,000 capacity venue. And then once you're up to that size, I'm sure they're paying more for insurance and then like fire safety bullshit and all that. Regulations and all that, taxes and all that. So they're going to charge you more. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Here I am, just spitball. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, if you're invited to a fucking wedding and it's just you, then you go. But if it's a no kid wedding, even if it's a kid wedding, you're thinking about bringing a kid, no. Even if you got a newborn that won't take up a seat, that won't take up a plate, no, don't do that. Don't do that. If you can't get what do I want to say? If you can't get a babysitter, I'm trying to think, how would you finesse this? Because most weddings I've been to are at the church and then some kind of hall for the reception. Because I'm sure it'd be fine to like have the baby at the reception. You got the music playing and thumping. Maybe even not, actually, because babies' ears are so sensitive, depending on how old they are. It'll just don't bring any kids to any weddings. Don't do it unless it's not child free. Unless the invite says you, your partner, and all 17 of your kids. Unless everybody gets an invite, don't do it. Yep. We're in a brand new subreddit that I've never read a story from before. Over in r/True Off My Chest, with a post by Wedding Dress Throwaway. Wedding Dress Throw 11. One of my husband's friends made me uncomfortable at our wedding, but it's my own fault. Last weekend, my husband, 27 male, and I, 30 female, got married. It was a great wedding, and I had a great time leading up to it. There's been one thing that's left a sour taste in my mouth. Growing up, I always wanted a big princess wedding. I know some people see those as tacky and immature, but it was always my dream. As part of this, the theme for our wedding was ballroom. And I told everyone to wear the nicest things they owned and told the women in particular to try to outshine me. I even went as far as telling the married women to wear their wedding dresses. I didn't care about being outdressed. Instead, all I wanted was to fulfill the aesthetic in my head that I had for the wedding, which included everyone else looking nothing less than extravagant. And no, before people ask, I don't regret my decision. It was really special to see my mom, aunts, and bridesmaids all in their own dresses on my big day. It kind of felt like they were passing the torch on to me, and I really enjoyed the experience. Now, on to my husband's friend. My husband has this friend I'll call Kate, 27 female. Kate is my husband's childhood friend and first love. My husband comes from a small town, and the majority of his friends he's known since adolescence. In their senior year of high school, Kate and my husband got engaged, which is kind of normal where they're from, but called off the wedding and never went through with it. It was mutual. They felt they were growing up too fast and wanted to slow down. The calling off the wedding was the end of the relationship, but they stayed friends. I knew this information prior to getting with my husband and never had a problem or felt jealous because I'm friends with a few exes myself. In fact, two of them were invited to our wedding. One was my bridesmaid, I'm bisexual, and the other was invited as a guest along with his current girlfriend. Oh, that's progressive. I've never had a problem with Kate being my husband's ex, but I have had a problem with Kate as a person, as she's kind of bitchy and gossips like she's still in high school. A few examples of this are just a month into our relationship, she confessed to my husband she still had some lingering feelings, to which he responded they had already tried that and it didn't work. If she brought it up again, he would cut her off out of respect for me. I wasn't that mad at the time because I understood they had a long history and my relationship with him was just starting out. And she owed it to herself to see if there was anything still there before it was too late. However, after she was turned down, her attitude towards me changed to a fake nice and started calling me things like cougar or asking me how I expected to make a relationship work as I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, which would require long hours, or telling my husband's whole friend group how she doesn't like my loud personality. And when I confronted her about all of these things, she would just say, "Oh, it was just a joke," or "You're so loud, I felt like you would just go off." There's more shit, but if I typed it all, I would never get to the point. Why did you even invite her? Kate has her home. Kate has her own husband. I'll call Gerald. Gerald. Kate and Gerald both make average in terms of finances, as they are both teachers. Kate is a kindergarten teacher, and Gerald teaches seniors. They got married last year. On a teacher's salary, Kate wasn't able to afford the most luxurious dress out there, but I always had the impression she was happy with it. Kate does have another wedding dress from when she was going to marry my husband that her dad paid for, oh, who has unfortunately passed away now, which in terms of fanciness is a bit nicer than her new dress. But obviously, she didn't want to wear that dress to her own wedding. Yeah. I was expecting Kate to wear the wedding dress she wore to her own wedding to our wedding, but when I looked and saw her, she had the wedding dress she was supposed to wear when she was getting married to my husband. When I saw her, I immediately went, "What the fuck?" But just decided to drop it because I didn't want a conflict on our wedding day. My husband, however, was also confused on why she wore that one and asked her about it without me even having to tell him I was uncomfortable. She responded, "Well, if your wife wanted such a big princess wedding, I thought I'd wear this one because it follows the theme more. Don't tell me she's upset about it. She's the one who said, 'Come in your nicest clothes, and this is my nicest dress.' Bitch, I feel like I'm not allowed to be upset, even though I am. I know this is my fault, but the whole thing has left a bad taste in my mouth. I would have never been okay with her wearing that one if I'd known she was going to. And I feel like she should have asked. I keep telling myself it's not that big of a deal. And during the daytime, when I'm distracted, I don't even think about it. But I've always been a night owl, and it makes me feel shitty every time I think about it before I fall asleep. So now I'm here complaining on Reddit like a loser. I feel pathetic. God damn, OP. God damn. You can be upset. You can be upset. You're kind of progressive in your thoughts having your exes there, to being so close with one of your exes that they're your bridesmaid, right? I'm just too jealous of a person. I'm not friends with any of my exes. Let me stop. I like to tell happy birthday to one of them because they tell me happy birthday to me, and I'm just like, ugh. Manners maketh man, right? You got to return the favor, but we do not talk, and it's still kind of odd because I'm friends with her mom on Facebook. Let me stop. They aren't watching this. That would be so weird if they did. I'm sorry, my brain is buffering. Give me a second. OP, it is awesome that you can be friends with your exes. Maybe they're like low-level friends, except the one bridesmaid, right? That's a high-level friend. But this is more so on your husband. He should have dropped Kate as a friend when she was acting fucking weird a month into your into your relationship. Yes, she should have. And as she continued to be a bitch to you, he absolutely should have dropped her, and you would not have experienced this at your wedding. Yes. This is spot on. This is how I feel. Yes. Are you, and no, this is true off my chest. This is not, am I the asshole? Yeah, you should and should not feel bad. It's more so on your husband for still being friends with her. And you wouldn't have had to deal with this on your wedding day. You would not have to look back on your wedding day and be like, there was that one bitch there. It was just so fucking weird. Yes. I got my thoughts together. I spit a little bit, my bad. But I got why am I apologizing? Why am I apologizing to y'all? I didn't spit on y'all. Y'all good. Top comment with 5.3K upvotes. Gerald is a hilarious name to make up. I hope his real name is Harold. Why is that the top comment? It's not. Why is that? Reddit is so weird. Yep. Now I'm back to being sleepy. Ooh. Oh, that's not top comment. That's best comments. When did there become a sort by best? That's different. Okay, that was the best comments. We're going to resort real quick. Me no like. Top comment. Whoop, 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 whoop. Top comment. There we go. By Phoenix_Spirits with 18,000 upvotes. Fuck your 5K. OP, Kate had to sit in the wedding dress she was supposed to marry your husband in and watch him marry you instead. Someone took an L here, and I don't think it was you. Ooh, yeah, because did y'all change? Did everybody change from the wedding to the reception? I don't think so. Ladies, comment down below if you're comfortable sitting down in your wedding dress. Don't some of y'all dip and change into a different dress or take off parts of the dress so y'all can be comfortable sitting down? I can imagine sitting down again in a church, in the pews, in a big floofy ass dress. Miranda isn't right. Yeah, I need some capital letters in that one. I'm struggling here. I need new glasses. Replies to Phoenix_Spirit. And geez, Kate's husband had to see Kate wear that wedding dress too, knowing it wasn't the one he saw her wearing, that he saw her wear walking down the aisle. By not making a fuss about it, you probably got on Kate's nerves even more. She was wanting you to throw a fit, and your grace was a dish best served ice cold for her. Ooh. Yeah, this is a possibility. Oh, shit, I lost some comments. That kind of sucks. I lost some comments. Scroll. Somebody has a paragraph. Do I want to read this? Oh, yeah. And K-Babble 21 has the same exact sentiment as me. but she didn't have to. She didn't have to be there. Insanity to invite a first love, who is a bitch to OP, to the wedding. There's no excuse. OP's husband wanted his fan club there. I mean, potentially, but that would be the same thing as OP having her fan club there. Everybody's inviting their exes. Just don't do that. Crazy Kayat lady. Crazy spelled with an IE. Cat spelled Cayut. Lady spelled LAY capital DE. The usernames. And I know they had to be annoyed because they just wanted to be Crazy Cat Lady, but it was definitely already taken. So Crazy Cat Lady comments several paragraphs. And I don't know what they are. I'm going to just read them because I'm crazy. Or maybe she had been bugging the hell out of him to get back with her. And this was his way of letting her know for the last time that he is out of reach. Won't work. Subtly rarely works with this kind of woman. He's have been better off telling her to fuck off at the wedding if that is what he wanted. The way y'all type makes me not want to read what y'all say. OP, I think you should sit down and talk with your husband about going lower contact with Kate. When she invites you out, have something else planned. When she calls, skip the call. Then text her a bit later saying, sorry, was busy. What's up? If she texts, wait a few hours before answering. And if she suddenly texts him with some emergency, he takes someone with him if he responds. Are y'all that close? Ugh. UDH sounds a lot like mine. What are you saying here? He sees the best in everyone. Oh, you meant your, and DH mean dear husband. Okay. Your dear husband sounds a lot like mine. He sees the best in everyone. We had to have a long talk and set some boundaries with a coworker of his a few years back. I will call her Michelle. He insisted Michelle was just lonely and needed some friends. I insisted she was husband shopping and he was next on the list. So we set boundaries, and boy, he saw the difference immediately. She had a tantrum because he stopped having lunch every day on the floor in the office. Oh, taking her out to lunch. I see. The way you right. Ooh. She isn't financially challenged. She just discovered that my husband is a gentleman from another era who thinks that if a man and a woman have a meal, the man pays unless the woman insists. Aw. He's got deep-rooted patriarchal misogyny deep in his soul. Be a feminist. Let her fucking pay for herself. Your coworkers. Weirdo. Then one day she called him. She was stuck on the side of the road and needed a ride to work. We happened to be together when the call came in. My car was in the shop, so I was driving him to work to keep his car. He told her he would be right there, and we went to pick her up. When she saw me, Michelle was furious. I know she had something planned, and me being with him fooled it. After I asked him if he wanted to... After I asked him if he would have picked her up on his own and without thinking, he said, of course. Now, I'm just having a hard time reading. That one's on me. I need sleep. Then I need a nap. Then I asked him what he would have done if, after they got to work, she claimed he SA'd her. Oh, he was shocked. Why would she do that? Dear husband can be a babe in the woods at times. I think your significant other is the same, OP. Teach him. I wouldn't want to be with somebody that dumb. Right? Nice at the expense of being naive, ain't it? No, I don't. No. Me no likey. Let me rearrange this real quick. Whoop, 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 whoop. Rearranging. Rearranging. Ah, that fucked things up. That's on me. That's on me, guys. I was trying to find more comments. Hey, yo, I found more comments by OP. Whoop. Mammoth Basket 4960 commented with 1.6K votes. Many are saying to take action against her, but you've been classy. Remain classy. Ignore her. If you confront her, she will be making up some tall tales. If she confronts you to dig in, start recording on your phone and keep it in case you need to use it to refute any lies she spews. However, I will let your husband know and ask to keep the conversation confidential between you two. That if that it hurt you and a slap at him for rubbing a dress in during your sacred ceremony. In your face? Is that what you meant to say? It was a low-class move. It was at you and your husband's expense. Not only did it disrespect you both, it was a big ass insult to your husband. Why did you censor yourself? This is the internet, woman. Man, they. I don't know. She has most likely mentioned she wore that dress to the wedding. All your friends, if they are true friends, already think it was weirdly insulting on her part. And Opie replies, God, you sound like mother... M-O-H. It's not mother-in-law. M-O-H means my own husband? No. What does M-O-H mean? Guys, these acronyms. I'm not on Reddit like that. Medal of Honor. Nope. What does MOH mean? Oh, Maid of Honor. Okay. Ooh, okay. All right, let's go back to that comment. OP replies, God, you sound like my maid of honor. Had you said my, this would have made more sense to me. You didn't put my there. After I made this Reddit post, I decided to tell her about the dress since the only ones who recognized it were my husband's friends from high school. And almost word for word, this is what she said. Ooh, you got a good ass maid of honor. I wonder if your bridemaid was looking at you like, damn, you look good. Let me stop. From a deleted user, they get OP to make a paragraph. So let's read what they said. I just need to ask why your husband is still friends with her. Like, she doesn't respect you. I will never be friends with someone who treats my partner like that. You should be mad at her. She's a bad person. In fact, but why is your husband accepting that? You should be mad at him. And OP replies, most of the stuff she did was at the beginning of our relationship. We've been together for 5 years, which did leave to my husband lead. Everyone in their spelling, their grammar, I could fight them. Ooh, I would punch my monitor, but I spent too much money on it. I like expensive things, guys. You like my shirts? I'll do a fit check like later. Which did lead to my husband having a talk with her about not being friends anymore. She said she was sorry she offended me and didn't realize I didn't have their, referring to his friend group, sense of humor. He said that maybe the things she says just aren't funny. I tried to whistle there, but I couldn't. I'm trying, guys. I just learned how. It's only been a couple weeks. Where'd I leave off at? And once she said that, it only reinforced his decision to cut her off because he said, even now, you just can't say sorry. It's always, I'm sorry, but. Ooh, which shows you aren't sincere. It was really awkward because she was friends with all his friends and we still saw her around, but he would just hold my hand and ignore her. Shout out to your mans. That lasted about a year until she got with Gerald. And she finally gave a sincere, or at least what I thought was sincere, apology and said she realized after getting with Gerald, who is the love of her life, how upset she would have been if our roles were reversed, and she asked for another chance for all of us being friends. Despite my better judgment, I agreed, and while the comments aren't so directly rude anymore, sometimes her tone towards me sounds like she thinks I'm dumb. You kind of are for, even letting this bitch spin back. Or I feel like there's a double meaning to her words. I've noticed she's kind of a bitch to all her friends, though, and they've just accepted it as part of her personality. I'm I've been feeling like I'm going crazy for a while because she hasn't said anything directly rude. But after reading these comments, I'm going to have a conversation with my husband about it tomorrow. I'm African American. To the people out there, I'm black, right? And black people, they roast their friends and their family members to their face, and they do it back. That is like weird parasocial bonding, trauma bonding, right? Because at the end of the day, you're making fun of someone to their face with a group of people watching and laughing as the other person gets you back or tries to, or vice versa. And here we have a situation where just one person is a bitchy bitch and everyone just kind of accepts it. No one should accept any of that kind of behavior. I'm not really truly a fan of it. One-off jokes are cool, but definitely not at the expense of people, and definitely not about things personally that they would not find funny, and it was just mean and rude, man. It's just mean and rude. I don't like this. I don't like this. Y'all are kind of dumb. And she peep game how much of a spine y'all lack, and that's why she was able to do this shit on y'all wedding day. Y'all, you already cut her off. Why are you resetting the chances to give her? You gave her one chance. Well, it seems like a several, but one real chance. And your husband was like, nah, fuck that. I've peeped all the nasty shit you've done. And you have never really apologized. You had one chance to apologize. And that shit did not count. Meh. Over to the update. I'm tired of reading his comments. Pissing me off. Update. Hello, guys. Here's the update. So I talked to my husband about it this morning, and when I brought it up, he immediately let out a sigh of relief. He said, I didn't know how to bring it up because you didn't seem bothered. But when I saw her in that dress, I thought it was very weird that she wore that one. You think? He went on to say that he even considered asking her to leave because he thought it was rude. But because I had no reaction to the dress, he thought I either didn't care or didn't realize it. But either way, if I wasn't bothered, he didn't want to disturb my peace of mind by kicking her out. We discussed that he's going to have a talk with her, not just about the dress, but her treatment of me in general, and explain that going forward, she will not be a friend in our lives. You're already fucked up. After this talk, I decided to let it go and focus on my new marriage. This was a small thing, and now, after I talked it out with my husband, I feel kind of silly I let it bother me this much. Where's the real reflection and growth? I'm at peace. She will no longer be in our lives, and that's enough for me. Someone said you gave her the chance to wear the dress her dad got her and gave her a gift. That was kind of a moment for me because no matter what her intentions were, that is true. And I'm glad she got to have that moment. End of update. The rest of this is just answering questions and explaining what the wedding looked like. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll read. I'll read this because there's another update underneath. A common question is how did we even know what the wedding dress looked like? Ooh, I want to know. I said it a few times in the comments, but I didn't. I had to skip those comments. I'm sorry, guys. But I've seen it a couple times before in her closet. Usually, when my husband's friend group hangs out, the guys all get ready at one of their places, and the girls get ready at one of our places. Why? Whatever. Then we all meet up to wherever we're going. whether that's a pub crawl or a concert or a music festival, etc. Kate hosts pretty regularly, and it's during those times I've seen it in her closet while she looks for something to wear. And when she got married to Gerald, she put her other wedding dress right next to the high school one. Oh. As for my husband, I asked him about that today, and he said when they broke up, Kate asked if she wanted to see the dress since there was no point in hiding it anymore. And he said yes. And then when they told their friends the news, the friends also wanted to see the dress, so she put it on for them too. It's cool that everybody's still in like shape from being in high school because y'all are in y'all late 20s, early 30s. Oh, wait, no, they're all probably 27. It's just OP that's 30. Damn, I forgot about that cougar comment. Yo, this couple is kind of bitch made. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, why you calling me a fucking cougar? I'm 3 years older than my man. Like, what is this is some no backbone shit right here. Yeah. The true off my chest. If this was Am I the Asshole, you'd definitely be an asshole to yourself. Because there's no real like growth or like accountability here. You kind of just like gave it all up to your husband to handle this situation. I don't see you saying that you fought back and you defended yourself when this girl is like out here just dragging you. Because to me, she's dragging you. To you, do you just think it's a little mean and you're not really sure and some of this seems kind of backhanded? Bitch, she was spitting in your face to you every time she opened her mouth in your direction. No, you're 30. You're 30. You're the elder of the group now. You're 30. Act like a fucking grown up. We're going to skip the comments, go straight to the update number 2, which is technically update number 2. Yeah, it's update number 2. Hi, because it's all in the same update. So I don't know if anyone even cares or still remembers my post, but I thought I'd make another update. Before I go in, I would just like to make a disclaimer that these are all things my husband and I have heard through mutual connections / friends. So who knows how much of this information has been dramatized for gossip. When my husband talked to him, I think I called her Kate in the post. Yes, you did. She reacted as expected and called, and started calling me jealous and a controlling wife to anyone who would listen. We didn't let her bother us, though. Neither I nor my husband knew this, but apparently her and Gerald have been struggling for quite some time and have been going to couples therapy. Oh, shit. When my husband cut her off, Gerald sat down and asked him if he really thought that Kate wore that dress out of spite. And my husband answered truthfully and said yes. Here's what I've been waiting for. Oh, I love the drama. Ooh, we thought Gerald asked because he thought we were being ridiculous. But I guess he was wondering the same himself because he brought up the whole wedding dress thing up in their therapy. In their most recent session, it's being said that Kate finally admitted that she's always thought of my husband as the one who got away. Ooh, and that she wore that dress out of spite and not because it's her fanciest or because of sentimental value. Damn. Shout out your daddy. Well, Gerald then asked if she would go back to my husband if he decided to divorce me. She said no, but apparently she hesitated. And Gerald knew she was lying. Yeah, that's your husband, bitch. He knows. Again, that is what my husband and I have been told, so I don't know how much of that is accurate. But it's being said from multiple people that this is what Gerald is telling anyone who asks. See, messy. What I do know for sure is that Gerald is filing for divorce. He's already served her and is taking her to court in a few months as she is trying to fight to have ownership of some of his assets. Y'all are school teachers. Y'all ain't got shit. Since this came out, I've had a load of apologies from people who said rude things about me or stopped being friends with me after my husband and I agreed to cut off Kate. Most people who had known her for a while believed, what she was saying about me and no longer wanted to assort themselves with me. That's a weird choice of words. After causing unnecessary high school drama. Their tunes have obviously changed, but I'm not interested in forming relationships with anyone who gossiped or didn't believe me. The whole thing was so dramatic for no reason. Yeah, anyways, I just thought I'd write this for any, if any, of you were still curious for more info. Oh, so you're going to cut off those people who want to spin back because they've been manipulated, but for all these years you didn't cut off this one bitch who was constantly fucking taking a piss on your head? Now you want to have a spine? Now you want to have a spine? Are you being serious? Ugh. On the pictures, I'm not going to post any, but I will explain how it looked for those of you who wanted to know. So firstly, lots of people showed up in wedding dresses, and that was absolutely beautiful. One thing my friends from college did was do a 50s Marilyn Monroe type glam, and it was killer. One of the staff was able to find a red carpet, and we took a bunch of black and white photos of them. I had about 5 girls wear their quinceañera dresses, which was gorgeous. Finally, some parents dressed their little girls up in actual princess costumes. Aww, which I thought was really cute. The guys also dressed really well too. One did a sequin tux. Quite a few went for a rock star type suit. My husband's best man went for this really gorgeous red velvet tux. And my dress was this really shimmery, really poofy ballroom type dress with a flower design on the veil that I got custom made for me. And then I had a design where I could actually unattach the poof part of the dress for the reception. And then by doing that, it turned into this sleek, long white shimmery dress with a leg slit. Damn, girl. Ooh. Ooh. What did your husband wear? What did your husband wear? Oh, I can't even leave a comment. It's been too long. Damn. Top comment. Top comment. I am so relieved that both OP and her husband sound like normal, level-headed, good communicators. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are slightly above average people, maybe average people. I don't know. Because average is not a good thing in America. That means you are a dumbass. Remember, average intelligence in America is equivalent to those who have the average reading level in America, which is that of an 8th grader. Over half of Americans read at and below a 6th grade reading level. Those from the ages of 16 to 74, I believe. That is over 140 million Americans. Ooh. We're doing something new. We're in another brand new subreddit, baby. In r/best of Redditor updates, with a post by direct-caterpillar77, which is technically not their post. They're just a poster. So the real post is by Victoria VC. Ooh. And I, 24 female, was just uninvited from a wedding that had already started. Am I overreacting? Bruh, how does that work? So, we're going to read this one out. This is just a little different. All the posts are all smashed together. So we're going to try this and do this. Today, my 24 male partner and I, 24 female, let's call him Eric, were invited to the wedding of one of his oldest friends from school. We received our save the date months ago, and the invite was addressed to Eric and Vicky. Our invite stated we were invited for the whole shebang, the service, the breakfast, and the evening reception. Our RSVP required both our dietary requirements for the breakfast, which we replied to ages ago. I thought this was pretty awesome and generous of the bride and groom, as I had never met either of them, and Eric was the only one close with the bride. It was a very nice gesture. The wedding is a few hours away from where we live, and since neither of us drive, I booked train tickets in advance, which came out to about 60 euros each return and an Airbnb, which worked out at about 90 euros between us. We don't earn a lot, so this is quite a big spend and justify. However, since they had invited us to the whole wedding, we thought it would be rude not to go. The bride also specified colors we should wear, so I bought a new outfit since I didn't have anything formal that would be suitable. Not the end of the world, but with Christmas coming up, it was a bit difficult and I had to be really frugal all through November to make it work. Total spending was probably double what I would spend monthly on fun stuff like going out for dinner or drinks or new clothes. We got two service and it was beautiful. The bride looked lovely and it was very emotional. I get nervous at weddings. Couldn't say why. And so I hadn't eaten before. Figuring the four-course breakfast would fill me up nicely. Ooh, four-course breakfast. After the ceremony, we went straight into the venue to have drinks and sit down at tables. We were towards the back of the line into the venue, and so half of the congregation had already sat down. We glanced at the seating plan, saw Eric's name, and headed over. There was no place setting for me. Eric found his name, but there weren't any free seats at the table. Eric sat down, and I asked an usher whether there was a mistake. He didn't know. So we waved over the bride. She and I had never met before, but she seemed friendly until she opened her mouth. Oh no, you're not part of the breakfast. The invitation was just for the reception and service. You're welcome to come back later. This was in front of most of the guests who had already sat down in a big venue, probably 140-ish seats. The usher suggested I go to the pub. Eric didn't know what to do, but didn't want to cause a scene, so he stayed put and quiet. I quite literally have never felt so embarrassed and humiliated in my life. I left, and it was raining heavily. I hadn't brought an umbrella since it was an indoor wedding. And being in a rural place, I had to walk about 20 minutes to get anywhere else. The usher had suggested a pub where the other guests are. So I just kept walking, but my shoes were literally ruined and soaked through, as well as being pretty damn cold because it's December and I was dressed for a wedding. I get to the pub to find a handful of merrymakers drinking heavily at 2 p.m. in wedding clothes. Introduced myself kind of awkwardly as they were total strangers, and they were luckily really nice. They invited me to sit down with them and tell them about the service, all of them only being invited to the reception. I asked one of them if I could see their invite, and it was crystal clear that they were evening guests. There was no mention of the service or breakfast, nor their dietary requirements. I apparently was the only person who was invited and then uninvited to the whole do. Oh, I'm fucking angry. I sat with them and had some food because I was starving. But they all started leaving to get ready at about 4 p.m. Being a total stranger, I didn't think it best to ask to come with them. But I had never been to this town before. And besides Eric, I didn't know anybody. Since being ejected at 1:30 p.m.-ish, I was expected to hang around until about 7:30 p.m. when the reception started. Hell no. So I just left. I felt so unwelcome and unwanted that I just wanted to go. The evening do will start in about half an hour without me, but I just can't bring myself to attend knowing that half the guests watched me being asked to leave by the bride herself. I traded my train ticket, which was a return for tomorrow, and now I'm traveling back alone. I texted Eric to tell him, but he didn't respond. I've been holding back tears since I was ejected 6 hours ago, and I feel completely torn. I don't understand what happened with the invite, whether it was a mistake or whether I was just supposed to know that it was only for Eric, despite being addressed to both of us, despite asking for both of our dietary requirements, despite explicitly stating we were invited to the whole wedding. Part of me feels like I should have gone to the evening reception too, but I'm soaked through. My hair and makeup look awful. My shoes are unwearable. I am currently barefoot on a really gross floor right now, and I'm freezing. I look a mess, and I feel so stupid. Did I mess up here? I feel like I've just been totally fucked over, and I'm really upset that Eric didn't stand up for me or say anything or leave the breakfast with me. Although I think that's less because of malice and more that he's just a bit of a hopeless when put on the spot. I've never heard of a wedding where you invite a plus one by name, but then they aren't invited to as much of the wedding as the other half of the couple. Nobody else at the wedding had this happen. I don't see how it can be personal since I've never met any of them before. I'm really upset. I can't wrap my head around how weird this has been. If this happened to you, what would you do? This wouldn't happen to me. I wouldn't be with a partner who wouldn't dip out with me. I wouldn't be with a partner who... The little bit of misogyny and patriarchy is leaking into me. Just a little bit of sexism. I would have had my girl sit down in my seat that has my name on it. Then I would have found the bride who I know, because that's my friend, and asked them, yo, I only got one seat over here. Are there any more chairs? No. The usher. The usher was found first. Hey, I need another chair over here. There's a chair missing. There's a chair and a seat placement. There's a seat placement missing for my girlfriend. Here's my invite. Here's my invite. Did you accidentally misplace it? Is she supposed to be at another table on accident? Swap her around with me real quick. I wouldn't. If I'm a girl, me as a man, I would never have a partner who would be that pussy. This is weak shit. Never, people, please. For my one listener in Cali and my one listener in Virginia. For shout out to the few hundred people watching your boy on TikTok. I don't know how consistently y'all spin back to my TikToks, but yeah. Probably not that many. It's just fucking TikTok. My brain is fried. Don't be like OP's boyfriend. Don't. If you don't like public, what's the word I'm looking for? Not public spats. If you don't like public confrontation, okay, just separate yourself. Don't sit there and twiddle your thumbs and just be to the point where you look up and your partner's already gone. That shit will get you left. Think about it. She had to leave out into the piss poor rain after being embarrassed in front of fucking 140 people. Man. Oh, shit. Things are different here. Since we're on the best Reddit updates, I can't just scroll to the comments. I have to read a singular relevant comment that this person grabbed that OP replied to. Okay, let's see this. By plain truthfulness, they comment, the person who messed up was the bride, who is an utter word I don't use, but she is, and Eric, who is appalling. I absolutely cannot believe they didn't walk out with you. What the hell is he thinking? Did he used to date the bride or the bride's sister? OP replies, funny you say that. The maid of honor is his ex. Although we were not aware until we saw her name in the wedding booklet at the ceremony that she would even be there. However, there is a lot of bad blood between them. If she was going to intervene to remove anybody, it would have been him. No, bitch, you got played. Y'all both got played. He probably ended up fucking a maid of honor in the closet at that place. Updates 10 days later. Hold on, let me open this up real quick. Well, I see. I didn't need to open that up. Basically, I went to a wedding of my boyfriend's oldest friend from high school and got uninvited from the wedding breakfast as it was starting. My boyfriend stayed at the wedding. For some reason, my post was deleted for convenience. Here are screenshots that you can read what was there, which I just opened up real quick and I did not have to read because I technically already read it. Yeah. So, on to the proper updates. I hadn't expected this big reaction to my first post, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who gave advice and was supportive. I was feeling super shitty when I initially posted, and after an hour of drinking wine and reading your comments, I felt a lot more sane and calm. I just wanted to clarify a few things that people were confused about or that weren't clear in my first post. I'm in the UK. Bitch, you said euros. I knew you weren't in America. I knew you weren't in America. I didn't see that good old-fashioned dollar sign. Your money's strong right now. Is it? I don't know. It's probably not. That war is fucking everything up. And our weddings are different to the weddings that are held in the United States. Traditionally, there's a ceremony, the wedding breakfast, which is a sit-down 3-course meal. Although it's called breakfast, it is usually in the afternoon, followed by speeches. And then an evening reception, which is like a disco. It's not uncommon for people to invite only relatives and close friends to the ceremony and breakfast, then invite lots of evening guests for the reception. However, it is uncommon to invite somebody to the ceremony and reception, but not the breakfast, as then they are kind of left to entertain themselves somewhere for 6 hours. Having talked to friends and coworkers since last weekend, what happened to me was a serious no-no in terms of etiquette. Ooh, okay. Me and Eric have been together for nearly a year and a half. We live together, and we have a pretty strong relationship. Bullshit. Oh, maybe y'all do. Maybe. He had no past romantic connections with the bride, I'll call her Marie, which some people were asking about. They went to school together from the ages of 4 to 10 and remained in touch as pen pals / Facebook friends since then. I would never do that. They rarely see each other in person, and the wedding was the first time he would see her in about 2 years. Oh, so y'all see each other in person. Okay. All right. There was zero phone signal at the venue. We noticed this when we arrived for the ceremony and were a little annoyed as the wedding had a hashtag, which we couldn't exactly tweet about with no signal. This is important later. We didn't know this until we arrived at the wedding, but the maid of honor, Helen, was Eric's ex-girlfriend. They were together for 3 years, and she cheated on him and dumped him. They have a lot of bad blood and do not have any contact with each other. Okay, so on to the update. I thought this was the update. After leaving the ceremony, I got on the train and went back to my hometown. I was on the train when I wrote my first post. When I got home, I told my parents everything, and they weren't particularly impressed. And like most of the posters here, they were perplexed that Eric hadn't come with me. My mum, I know you're from the United Kingdom when you say mum with a U. M-U-M. Me mum gave me a big hug. Let me stop. My mom gave me a big hug, ran me a bath, and poured me a glass of wine. I just tried to relax and forget about my day from hell. I still hadn't heard from Eric, but texted him to let him know I was home safe and would see him tomorrow. Eric texted me back at about 9 p.m. asking me what I meant by home. Home or the Airbnb that we had booked nearby to the venue. I clarified and he said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Love you so much. The ex. I guess that's a kiss? Or is that a hug? Hugs and kisses? Kisses and hugs? What was the X's and O's? Which one is the hug and which one's the kiss? You guys tell me. Didn't really know what to make of it since the whole day had just been a massive fuck up. So I finished my wine, watched a Disney movie, and went to bed. The next morning, given I still hadn't really heard from Eric at all, I assumed he would be getting in at about midday. So I got up early and started wrapping Christmas presents. At 8 a.m., I heard a key in the door, and what do you know? It's Eric, still in his creased suit with red eyes and looking like death. He wasn't really making sense, so I made him a shower and warm up, made coffee, and decided to talk once he was looking human again. We sat down together and pieced together his side of the story. Basically, once I had left, Eric was absolutely livid with Marie. He had frozen like a deer in headlights when she was asking me to go and was kicking himself that he hadn't done the right thing. About 10 minutes after I left, Marie turned around and said, "Oh, actually, a few people haven't turned up. Get Vicky to come back. We still have space for her now." And Eric tried to call me because there was no phone signal anywhere near the venue. He couldn't get in touch. He couldn't get in touch, though, and Marie pretty much immediately said, "Oh, well, never mind. She didn't want to be here anyway," which was obviously a pile of crap and made Eric feel rubbish. The meal was a very formal sit-down affair, so we kind of just grinned and bared it. Assuming I would be coming back in the evening, Eric was the only person mentioned in the speeches by Marie's father, who wasn't a family member. Oh. And apparently, it was clear to everyone how disappointed he was. I wasn't there to share it with him. When I texted him at about 6 p.m. to let him know I was going home, he never received it. He was only able to text me at 9 p.m. by hiking down the road 5 minutes to find a signal. All the while, his ex Helen was being sickly sweet, asking where I was and why I didn't want to come and enjoy the party. Was I shy? Apparently, with quite the evil glint in her eye, like she had got exactly what she wanted. Neither of us knew she was the maid of honor until we got there. And given their bad relationship, Eric was pretty pissed off that Marie had failed to mention she had a prominent role in the wedding. Whether Helen was behind the seating area, I don't know. But if she was, and then Marie was just as bad in enabling it to happen. And people, is it bad to give the bride a black eye on her wedding day? So Eric stayed at the wedding. Why? Miserably, and went back to the Airbnb afterwards alone. He barely slept, feeling angry at Marie and Helen for fucking with us, and at himself for not sticking up for me, and left at 4:30 a.m. to get the first train home. Since why he was back at our place so early, he wasn't really apologetic to me at all. He didn't really seem to see how it was shitty for me. He more felt like he had been insulted by the situation and let down by his oldest friend. He is cutting off Marie and doesn't want anything else to do with her. Do you not see your partner as your partner? Do you just see her as an extension of yourself? You were insulted? Your girl spent hundreds of dollars, or maybe hundreds of euros, on a fit that got ruined. She was made fun of, made to feel like less than, made to be in an unknown place in a rural area with a bunch of motherfuckers she don't know. She could have been assaulted. So, yeah, that was Eric's take on the whole thing. To be honest, I was pretty pissed that in all of this, he hadn't really considered how I felt or what it had been like for me getting thrown out of the wedding. While what he had gone through was pretty crummy, he at least had been warm, dry, and well fed. A 4 fucking course meal, bruh. The indignation of your girlfriend being removed from an event you're at really isn't as bad as being the girlfriend, getting soaked in the rain, feeling humiliated, and all the rest of the other bullshit. So we talked, and I laid out why I wasn't okay with what happened and why his reaction wasn't okay. He can be a bit of a lemon sometimes, and this feels like one of those times. He didn't step up to the plate. He just let the world wash over him and acted as a bystander. I'm still hurt by his actions, and he still hasn't really apologized properly. I don't know if he understands what he did wrong, too. Well, you should have said either. But this isn't a deal breaker for me. It's a heavy straw on the camel's back, but the camel is still standing. Let me keep reading. I'm fucking disappointed. We have a really lovely Christmas coming up, and after a really long autumn of working hard, all I want, I can't even read how much this just annoyed me. Oh my God. All I want is to go back to the happy place we were before this fuck up. And honestly, I don't want to think about it. So I know a lot of you guys are going to drag me over hot coals for this one. You damn right. But we're still together. I'm not going to break up with him over this, but it's a big dark mark on his record. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to get a lot of extra credit to get a pass this year, to use a terrible analogy. And I expect him to step up and really try to do better from now on. It's not really an ultimatum, but I'm willing to put this behind us if he can prove to me that he's invested in trying harder in this relationship from now on. If he doesn't, then I won't be sticking around. I love him a lot, but he needs to have my back and to be empathetic to what I'm going through. I'm sorry that this wasn't the victorious breakup story so many of you wanted, but I wanted a nice Christmas together. I'm not ruling it out as an option if things don't improve, but I want to give him another chance to prove this relationship is worth it. You're dumb. You're really dumb. You're really dumb. Ugh. I could cuss you the fuck out, but you're stupid. I don't like you. Let's continue on. Let's continue on reading this shit. So relevant comments, because that's how Best of Redditor Update works. I can't read a bunch of comments. It's all mine now, says. So they're quoting what OP said. So I know a lot of you guys are going to drag me over hot coals for this one, but we're still together. Yeah, that's the important thing. You haven't lost him. And as for dragging you over the coals, you're going to be the one to live with this selfish, conceited carpet. So really, there's nothing more I can add that will push the point home more than some more occasions where he just dumps you at the side of the road because he's offended by how they disrespected him by treating you badly. Throw underscore the underscore switches comment makes a good point. He didn't even try to catch you up, go down the road to contact you, or even leave in disgust because all he could think about was his own hurt feelings. You got a great life coming. Oh man, LP replies to that. I've set a deadline in my head where I need to see significant improvement in a few areas of the relationship, which I have told him is important if he wants us to stay together. And if that doesn't happen, I'm gone. If he messes up big time before then, I'm gone. Just giving him one last chance to pull himself up by his bootstraps and prove it's worth staying for. OP stayed with this motherfucker for another 3 years before leaving. Ugh. This shit is draining me, bro. This shit is draining me. We can actually read some real comments now. Ugh. Let's go to the top comment. By Charlie's own nachos. Charlie's own chaos. I can't read, guys. Just like last time. I'm just out of it. 7K upvotes. Why on earth didn't he leave with her? I can't wrap my head around it. And Twisted Spin comments, replies, he saw himself as the wrong person. It's a different perspective. He never really thought he should try to make her feel better. He was just dealing with his humiliation and how his girlfriend was the pariah of the wedding. And Crazy Guy 75 replies, if that's the case, why didn't he leave? If I walk into the wedding and the literal first thing the bride does is assault me, I'm leaving. No, the reason the dude stayed is because he didn't take a single second to think about his girlfriend. He wasn't kicked out. He didn't get insulted. He didn't have to walk in the rain. No, nothing bad happened to him. So in his narcissistic eyes, nothing bad happened at all. When he got home, he found an angry girlfriend. Suddenly, he had a problem that affected him. And suddenly, it wasn't his fault. He tried to defend her and contact her, but he couldn't reach her and blah, 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 blah excuses. Because he knew he could never make mistakes because he's a narcissistic asshole. So if something got his girlfriend mad, it was either her or someone else's fault, not his. And therefore, she should stop making her problem into his so he can go back into his comfy routine of not caring about her problems. Ooh. But useful underscore language 2040 replies, leaving at 4:30 to catch the first train indicates he was genuinely upset, but never having considered that being stranded in a strange area with no signal in the rain and unsuitable clothing would be rubbish does demonstrate a pretty gross lack of empathy and consideration for others. And Crazy Guy 75 replies to that, I don't believe he slept. Dude totally just partied with his friends till near that time. The reason he left wasn't because he was upset or because he wanted to comfort her. It was because all the events were over and he missed his bed warmer when he got back and thus had no reason to stay. Yo, Crazy Guy 75 is crazy. He's dragging it. Ooh. And Lonely Tick 75 says, yep. Showed up still in his suit with bloodshot eyes and incoherent. That dude drank until the early train and his only sleep was what he could grab on the ride back. These guys are kind of spitting here. Doob Killer says, this is the UK, so he probably drank on the train as well. Our trains sell beer. Overpriced, but beer. I can't believe she stayed with that motherfucker for 3 more years. That's crazy. Ladies, don't give chances. Matter of fact, wait. Chances are fine, but there are yellow flags and red flags. A 3-strike method is fine, but this isn't baseball, so there are no real foul balls. This is why you guys have to get therapy, so you can have higher standards for yourself. You will know what is and is not unacceptable behavior. And you will not take unacceptable behavior lying down. This dude didn't even apologize. Why would you want to be with somebody that freezes up at the slightest bit of an inconvenience, confrontation, random shit that may or may not happen? Would you want somebody freezing up When somebody swerves into you, into your lane in front of you, slams on their brakes, boom, you're dead. Oh shit! Sorry, honey. My faults. That we're in the afterlife. I just froze up. Man, no, I don't even want to read the rest of these comments. I'm annoyed. We're bringing back a class. We're bringing back a classic. We're over in r/ am I the asshole with an H. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they were deserved to be? How you gonna fuck up spellings in in the? It's the title of the story. How you gonna fuck up the spelling in the title of the story? Ugh. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they were deserved to be kicked out of my sister's wedding? I shouldn't even be reading this because your spelling is bad. Throwaway sister wed, if that is your real name. So this is a throwaway, as my brother is on Reddit and I don't want him knowing my real account name. So my 37 female brother Mike, 35 male, is a knob. Always has been, always will be. He has been babied to the point of uselessness by our mum and dad, and thus made him an entitled slob. When he was younger, he showed promise by playing rugby, which had my mum and dad believing he was going to be a superstar. The problem was, though, that he never had the work ethic to fully fulfill his potential. However, this meant that he was the golden boy of the family, and he could do no wrong in my parents' eyes. He was a bully at school, which they brushed off as other kids making up lies. But he was an even bigger bully at home to our younger sister, Kelly, 31 female. Was a 4-year difference. He would constantly prank her, which basically meant he would do anything he could to embarrass her, including things like pulling her dress up in front of the whole family at a wedding when she was 15. Mom and dad said it was siblings being siblings, but the rest of the family was mortified by his behavior. I did try and stick up for my sister, and it worked to a certain extent, but after I went to uni, there wasn't much I could do for her, as my mom and dad just don't listen to anyone. It got so bad that when she was 18, my sister gave up going to her dream university, St. Andrews, and instead moved to London to go to the Imperial College London. This was a huge shock to all of us, as she had been talking about St. Andrews since she started high school at 11. When I asked why, she said St. Andrews was too close to home and she would be expected to go back home more often. But if she went to London, she would only have to go home for Christmas. This broke my heart. It's breaking mine too. After she left, she did exactly that. The only time she was home was Christmas and when I got married. This really annoyed mom and dad, as they said she was abandoning the family. I kept my mouth shut and just let them whine occasionally, as I didn't want an argument. Always argue with your parents. When they are wrong, tell them that they are wrong and never let them live it down. Hi, Mom. After graduating from uni, my parents expected her to move back home. Hi, Mom. But she didn't. She got a job working in southern England and stayed down there. We are from Scotland, for reference. My bad. My apologies. Hi, Ma. Mom. I call her Ma. 6 years ago, Kelly met a great guy, Jake 30. The day she met him, she called me gushing about him, and I've honestly never heard her speak about anyone the way she does him. I met him several times when I've gone down to visit Kelly, and he's great. Good looking, funny, great job. His family are lovely, and most importantly, he treats Kelly like she hung from the moon. It's very cute. I don't get that. Hung from the moon? What? After she met him, she cut down on how much time she came home, even more as she spent the first Christmas with his family, and then the pandemic happened, so she ended up not coming home for 3 years. Her first Christmas home, Mike started his usual bullshit, trying to be the center of attention. When it didn't work out as well as he wanted, as most of the family were more interested in getting to know Jake, he then tried to prank Kelly. He got a big bowl of water. As he was going to pour it over her, Jake saw what happened and stepped in front of her, Kelly, telling Mike to not even think about it. Side note, Jake is 6'3" and has been doing martial arts since he was 4. So he can be very intimidating when he needs. Ooh. Mom and Dad tried to play it off as a harmless prank, but Jake was having none of it. Mike started whining about it just being a prank, and Jake told him that if he pranked Kelly one more time, he would prank Jake by putting his foot up his arse. Arse. And his fist down his throat. Kelly and Jake left about an hour later, but after that, Mike, Mom, and Dad had all had an issue with Jake. Kelly hasn't been back home since. And that leads us to now. Kelly and Jake are getting married. They sent out invites in February for August. However, they didn't invite Mike. Mike and Dad are obviously incensed by this and had a huge argument with Kelly. They threatened not to go, and Kelly just said no problem. She would get Granddad to walk her down the aisle. I went around to their house on Saturday with my kids. Immediately, my mom started complaining about Kelly and the wedding. I sat and listened to her for a while before I had enough. I asked her, what does she actually expect? Her and Dad had allowed Mike to be the golden child and get away with everything. Because of that, he can't keep a relationship due to him thinking everyone should do everything for him. He can't hold down a job because every job is beneath him, and he's still living at home with 0 prospects in his life. The man-child is a bully who I don't trust to be around my children supervised. He bullied Kelly for most of her teen years, and her only escape was to move over 400 miles away and never come home. My mom got very upset and then asked me to leave. A few hours later, my dad called going mad because I upset my mom and was taking the side of an ungrateful little girl instead of my parents who gave me everything. This started a huge argument between me and him, where I told him he'd been a crap dad to Kelly and didn't deserve to walk her down the aisle. I've just had enough. But now I've got extended family members telling me I'm going too far, as my mom is barely speaking to anyone and keeps crying. My granddad said it's about time I told them off, but my grandma is upset by all the arguing. So am I the asshole for telling my parents they sucked as parents and deserve to be kicked out of my sister's wedding? You're the asshole for telling them so late in the game. You're the oldest child. You did as well as you could protecting your sister while you were there in the house, but you should have punched your little brother in the face several times when he was a kid because your parents didn't want to be parents. They didn't want to stop treating their only son like the most important thing in the world. And here, now that your mom has finally been told the truth, she's bawling and crying her eyes out. All she's doing is probably receiving sympathy. And your grandma just doesn't want there to be any conflict or any arguments. These people are just less than. You're like slightly better than them. Your grandma's the worst because she doesn't want anything to happen at all. Your mom's the second worst because she's just crying and not facing reality. And you're third worst. Yeah, you're third worst because you didn't move fast or efficiently. I could give some blame to your little sister for not sticking up for herself, but I'm sure she probably did. But her 4 years older brother, who has always lived at home, was probably always bigger than her because he played rugby but didn't really do a good job at it or put his best foot forward because he had shitty parents raising him. just continue to. But I'm sure all the bad shit he did to her was absolutely excused. So even if she did stand up for herself, it didn't matter. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Let's read a top comment. I'm sorry, guys. Just fucking pissed. Top comment with a deleted user, 11K upvotes, not the asshole. Sounds like they kicked themselves out. And Curious 14595, the way these people have their default usernames throws me, replies, the chickens have come home to roost, not the asshole. Although the really sad thing about this is that OP's stubborn, inept mother, having finally seen the truth about her bad parenting and destructive favoritism, is probably more concerned how she failed Mike, who is now worthless and unlovable, and by everyone's opinion, low opinion of her, than she is about how she mistreated her daughter for all those years. Otherwise, she'd be asking her daughter for forgiveness. Ooh. And Hopeful Artichoke 449 says, yep, accountability never happens with these types. Ooh. Accomplished Emu 591. I didn't know emus could be accomplished. Wait. Liberty, 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 bibbity. Yeah, there's that one emu. That's an emu, right? Liberty, bibbity. Comments, not the asshole. If they can't stand the truth, they need to hibernate. I vote Grandpa walks her down the aisle regardless of who attends. And OP replies to that. My sister isn't changing her mind. They aren't going to the wedding no matter what. She only invited them as she thought it was the right thing to do in the first place. So Granddad will be walking her no matter what. Two. Oh. Here we are. Here's the comments. They reply to OP. RD0815. They say, good to hear. The sexualized harassments your parents condoned makes me sick. Yes, sexual. Undressing your sister in public is very much sexual. Ugh. Boys will be boys my ass. Not the asshole, obviously. She's lucky to have you. Please keep standing up for her. I don't have kids right now, but I would never raise my kids to be like these people. It's so weird, man. You have to raise your boys and girls the same. You have to. This gender divide bullshit is dumb, right? It's not rooted in anything. That's true reality. It's not scientific. All the bullshit you see on Reels and Shorts and TikTok and fucking Facebook is all dumb bullshit by people who manipulate studies that they can barely understand themselves, so they get engagement and get your money. And it's just the ever going reinforcement of a separation of people, so you may be controlled. Women are less than, men are on top because biology. That shit is so fucking dumb. Sit down with an anthropologist, right? Sit down with a historian. Sit down with anybody who truly knows how things have progressed throughout this country and all 196 plus countries and the ones that don't fucking exist anymore. So you can see how men and women have interacted in their own fucking societies throughout several hundred years and how things have changed. Roles that are now for women used to be for men in various different countries. But even if you move from one country to the next, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, there was an immediate flip. Right? What was it? What was it? Was it the Greek or the Romans who didn't even want to touch money and fucking samurai read poetry? Right? Like, come on, man. You can see it here in America, too, very specifically. If you pull up newspaper clippings that are separated by the decade, you can see the previous generation saying men are becoming more effeminate, men aren't masculine enough, right? So whatever some 18-year-old kid thinks is masculine and how they have to be and must be is pussy bitch shit compared to what their grandparents think is masculinity. There is always going to be an ever-changing field. I'm annoyed. There are so many comments by OP on this. So if you want to read all the comments on this, you can. You can. Ooh, I have my cat comments. I will send a link to this post to your brother and mom, LOL. And OP says, I might do if their flying monkeys don't fuck off. I wonder if she ever has hit her husband, hit her brother in the face. Oh, I'm so curious. Aqua Venitus. My pronunciation, some stuff is probably just horrible to you guys. Says, not the asshole. Your parents failed both of your siblings, and it's going to get worse when they realize your sister won't invite them to her events, and when they realize that their son will become homeless after they pass. Honestly, I'm shocked your brother hasn't been arrested yet. And OP speaks the truth. He has. Multiple times. For getting into fights when drunk. Nothing ever comes of it, though. And Aqua Venitus replies to that. And your extended family believes you? Went too far? By telling your parents the truth about your sister. Your sister needs to hire security for a wedding. And OP replies to that. They think I should have just stayed quiet and not upset my mom. Honestly, I'm just so done with it all, though. Yeah. I kind of get it. Here I am in my 30s, just now, like, really speaking up to my parents. And when they say something to me that's just, like, wrong or stupid, or I just simply disagree, I'm speaking back instead of just saying it in my head. And I'm an angry person because they immediately disagree with me. And I've never been a person to back down with others. So I'm just treating them the same as everyone else now. So when we get into it, I'm just like, nah, fuck that. You're fucking wrong. I just hate hearing dumb things. All right. More so my dad than my mom. Me, mom. Hi, mom. Oh, let me stop. Let me go to the update. Again, there's like 30 comments for that first post. So if you want to read all OP's comments, you can go find them yourself. Hi all. That post took off a lot more than I thought it would. There was way too many comments for me to respond to. Girl, you responded to more than most people I've seen. But I tried to read every one of them. I was asked for an update, so here it is. There were a few things that came up repeatedly, so I'll address them first. The pranks only started after I had left and gone to uni. He would say things to Kelly, and I would have gone back at him when we were younger, but it wasn't anything more than that until after I left home. So there wasn't anything I could really do to stop it. I did speak to our parents, but they're useless. Okay. All right. Second thing was about my kids. I don't bring my kids around them very much as they didn't like going to my parents' house. They said it was boring and they don't like Mike. However, after all the comments I got about this, I sat them down and asked them again. For my daughter, it really is just that she finds it boring and says that Mike is a weirdo. My son, however, said that he doesn't like being around my dad as he keeps trying to make him play rugby. I have heard these comments and told my dad to drop it, but he would still make the comments occasionally. I had no idea that it was upsetting my son, though, so this surprised me. My son doesn't like sports, so be it watching or playing. Oh, I misread that. My son doesn't like sports, be it watching or playing. He's very much like his dad in that regard. He's a Pokemon kid, playing online and going every Thursday evening to play in a tournament at our local card shop. Aww. I did that with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. So rugby is an absolute no-go for him. Let me see. Let me fuck everything up real quick. Hold on, you guys. Dusty ass thing. It's crazy work. Dun, 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 dun. I haven't a clue where my Yu-Gi-Oh cards are. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh shit! What was that? Oh shit! What was that? What does this go to? I used to play Satch Bell too. I think all I did was just collect. I never played Pokemon because I didn't learn how to play. Because I didn't know how to play. But I absolutely went to some Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and there was like a transitional period for me going to Catholic school to a Detroit public school, middle school, and I was cussing too much, and they didn't like that, so I stopped going to tournaments. But I was never really good at playing Yu-Gi-Oh either, so that was like a plus for me. I just liked it, you know. I was ass at it, but I like playing. What did I even show off? Did I even show off anything dope? Hey, I got a shiny Flygon. Let me see. A shiny energy. Yeah. Do I have anything dope? I have a newer Charmander, which is probably like 20 years old. Let me see. 2007. Is that the date for this? Oh wow. 19 years old. Do I have anything dope in here? A Shogun. I don't even know the conditions for these. I should like go through these later. I don't think I have anything in here that's like super crazy dope. Worth anything. I don't know if I'll hold on to these. I don't know. I got like pictures from me as a kid. Y'all don't need to see kid me though. I didn't have long hair. I did have long hair, but I didn't have long hair. I don't know. Moving on. wait. Not editor me. Pay no mind to that. Way back to it. Hold on. Ooh. The third thing was about security at the wedding. I spoke to Kelly and Jake said that two of his groomsmen are police officers who were aware of the situation, so that won't be a problem. Tough. I love that. Lastly, there was a lot of comments about Mike being the golden child. For a bit more backstory, he wasn't really the favorite until his talent in rugby came to light. After that, he was special and had to be treated that way. I think he was seen as mom, and dad's way of being special themselves within the family, as they had such a super talented child. Anyway, today I decided to sit down with my parents and tell them I needed a break from them. When I got there, my dad immediately wanted me to apologize to my mom, but I said that wasn't going to happen. There was a bit of back and forth between him and I until my mom stepped in and asked why I was there if not to apologize. Bitch, you don't realize how fucking wrong. I told them that I'd spoken to Kelly and she didn't want them at the wedding at all, that they needed to stay away and respect her decision. They weren't happy, but said they wouldn't go where they weren't wanted. Your misspellings are popping up. I told them I wanted space until after the wedding, as I couldn't keep being around them and keeping my mouth shut. I thought that space would be good for all of us. My mom wasn't happy and started on about seeing my kids. I told them the truth. My kids hated coming to their house and told my dad exactly why my son doesn't want to be around him. He got upset by this and said that rugby would be good for him. I shut that down and said I'm not going to force my son to do something he doesn't want to and something I know he will hate. I also told him that if I hear him mention it around my son again, then he won't see my son again. Right now, they will only be seeing my kids at family events, so I'm hoping that it won't be a problem. I then asked them what their long term plan was with Mike. Are they going to keep things the way they are until they're 90 and mom will still be making all his meals? What happens when they're gone and who will look after him because it won't be me? What happens if they get ill? Who will look after them? Mike is incapable. Kelly lives down south, and I plan on moving back to my husband's town 3 hours away once the kids have left home. So I can't do it. They just looked at me blankly. I don't really think that they had ever even thought about any of that before. I told them they had set Mike up to fail, and now they needed to deal with it. I also told them I knew that they were leaving everything to him in their will, but that with how they have baby Mike, he will blow through that money in less than a year. And then what? I could see the panic in my mom's eyes when I said that. She either hadn't thought about it or she thought I would look after him, which she now knows isn't going to happen. I also think that she was shocked that I knew about their will. After me telling them what low contact with me was going to look like going forward and them not being happy about it, I left. Hopefully, I have given them a lot to think about. I will check in with them from time to time, but that's all right now. I'm going to visit Kelly in the next couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. My extended family has also backed off after I sent them all a text saying if they were so concerned about my mom, then they could be her support system and deal with Mike the same way Kelly and I have had to for years. Not surprisingly, none of them wanted to. Otherwise, I'm going to just try to get on with things as normal. Thanks for the not the asshole verdict and for all the advice. It opened my eyes to a few things that I have been brushing off. Yep. Yep. You know what? I gave you, you're the asshole. It should have been everybody sucks here. But Kelly doesn't suck. Jake doesn't suck. Yeah, everyone but those two. You did good when you were a kid. Right, because the bad shit didn't really happen to Kelly until you left. And that's why the bad shit didn't happen for such a long time. Ooh. Oof. Oof. Fuck the top comments. Fuck the top comments. This might actually be the top comment. Everything that's sort of automatically went to best comment for whatever reason. If I refresh everything, me having searched for OP's comments gets rearranged. And no, it's just dumb to me. Not so average _sister comments a quote from OP. I've always told them I knew they were leaving everything to him in their will, but that with how they baby Mike, he would blow through that money in less than a year. And then what? Some people inherit their parents' house, and through good financial planning and healthy financial habits, they manage to keep the house for future generations. Other people, after being cosseted? What are you trying to say here? What is this word? Cosseted. Huh. Cared for and protected in an overindulgent way. Pampered. Huh. Cosset. To pet a lamb, to treat as a pet, or pamper. Cosset. It's a verb, or it can also be a noun. Huh. Never seen that word before. Cool. It's always good to learn new things, guys. Other people, after being cosseted all their lives and being gifted a modest fortune or home, blow through it in a year or two or three, and end up having the property seized for failure to pay taxes, or for not keeping up the property, or it gets seized by the bank because the new owner decided to get a home equity loan for some quick cash and forgot to make the monthly payments. I would feel bad for your brother, but it's hard to do that for someone who still acts like a child as an adult. Tuss, tuss, tuss. And OP replies to that. My parents don't have much in savings, so Mike will sell the house as quickly as possible, go into the cheapest rented accommodation he can find, and blow the money on FIFA, nights out, and clothes. He will be broke within a year. He racked up 5,000 euros on credit cards with FIFA packs before, so most of the money will go there. Damn. Bro, you racking up debt like that and you not even selling this shit off? You're not even making no money? Ugh, I hate people like that. Ugh. Just underscore PG1000 replies to OP. This sounds like Mike doesn't even work at all. Has no money of his own for any future prospects. Like he has no plan for his future or for his life at all. I'm also concerned why your daughter finds Mike weird, especially considering your youngest sister's experience. Hopefully that's nothing. Because weird is a strong word, depending on how old the child is, or not at all. Because weird is just weird, and weird means you can't really explain what is going on. And OP replies, he current doesn't have a job and isn't looking. Currently doesn't have a job and isn't looking. You meant currently, OP. The longest he's had one was 6 months. She said he's weird because he spent doing anything. Just sits in his room playing video games. Autocorrect must have got a hold of you because he doesn't spent do. Or yeah, he doesn't do anything. Yeah, spent must have got turned into doesn't must have got turned into spent with your autocorrect. I see what's happening here. You're just typing along. It's all good. Yeah, everyone has had issues with their updates recently. All these coders are just focused on AI because the higher ups are just like AI. Yeah, you're fine. I'm giving everybody shit for their grammar, their spelling, as I should, but generally it's older post. This is a newer post, so I'm peeping. I'm not going to continue to give everybody shit all the time. Once, twice, 3 times. After that, it's whatever. Especially one-off comments. I can give everybody shit if I'm only going to read one of their comments once. Oh, here we go. Here's the comment. Crystal Raff, spelled R-A-F. Or Crystal R-A-F. No. Crystal Raff commented, they're planning on giving everything to Mike? Not all 3 kids equally? Well, that's perfectly loving parents to have. /S. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, guys? Throwaway. Oh, I'm sorry. OP replies to that. They don't have much savings, but they have the house. They've said a few things through the years that indicated he will get that, as me and Kelly have our own houses. It's something I accepted a long time ago. And Crystal Raff replies, fuck that. They can have just as easily I misread that. They can just as easily leave their estate to all 3 kids equally. If Mike wants to keep the house, all he has to do is buy you and your sister out of your shares. My mom just did this. It's not that hard. I'm not even going to keep reading these comments. The final Hex comments, you obviously know Mike can't do that. Oh my God. Let me head over to the quick update because there's another one. All right. Hi all. Sorry I went MIA, but I've been super busy. Not with this issue, just life in general. So Kelly got married last weekend and everything went without a hitch. Our parents and Mike didn't even try to attend, but I know that Mom did try and contact her a few times before the wedding via other family members. Kelly wasn't interested and they made that clear by not responding or threatening. Oh, okay. because they misspelled the threatening. Okay. Threatening the family member that they would be uninvited as well. That put an end to it. Mike is still a drain on society, according to a cousin of ours. I don't know firsthand as I've not been in contact with him at all. I've spoken to mom and dad once the last post, since the last post, and they haven't changed, so I don't have the energy to deal with them. My kids don't miss them one bit, so it's not been a problem keeping the kids away from them. Right now, I'm just going to get on with my life, with my husband and kids. I've been talking to Kelly a lot more since all this, which is a huge positive to come out of it. Sorry that there were no dramatics like Mike and our parents trying to storm the wedding, but everything went smoothly. Thanks for all the comments and all the advice to my previous posts. You're welcome. I wasn't in there though, That wasn't me. And since this is such a quick update, all right, we only got one comment by OP replying to another comment. And this is over on her own page, so it's not like a bunch of comments here. There are like 19 comments. Thimble. This username, bro. Thimble full of fucks. Thimble underscore. Fuck, I'm sorry. Thimble full underscore of underscore fucks. Comments. I am delighted that everything went well for Kelly. She deserves it. But I'm dying to know what happens when life finally bitch slaps Mike's and your parents. Your mom will crack first, but she won't stand a chance against your brother and dad. Keep a healthy distance and a lovely, lovely life without them. But come feed the drama llamas a Reddit if anything fun happens. LOL. OP replies, I'm completely no contact with them right now, but I find little bits here and there from other family members. Dad is adamant that I will come around, and Mom is playing the sympathy card. I don't think they understand that they're pushing me away even more by acting like they are. My life is so much more simpler and less stressful without them in it. Ooh. And Fangs McWolf comments, someone should drop a bombshell on them that you have posted about them and Mike, with them reading what has been said. If anything will wake them up to reality, it will be seeing the dirty laundry aired on the internet, with lots of strangers dragging them for their behavior, lifting Kelly's skirt and parents brushing it off. Yeah, I'm sure that I got plenty of criticism, which might make them feel embarrassed, expecting you to apologize for being bluntly honest with them, then believing that you are the one that will come around. Yeah. When seeing how that behavior gets ridiculed and laughed at, maybe they'll realize how ridiculous they've been, or maybe not. What really needs to happen is that one or both of them try to tell their tragic perspective to someone that they respect, and they see through that bullshit. When that happens, they'll realize just how bad they are coming off as they are telling it. I've been through that before, where I'm thinking that I'm in the right, but as soon as I'm telling my side of things to someone I know won't cater to my viewpoint just to make me happy, I can actually hear how horrible it really is. It's a weird sensation, and it's rather entertaining to watch it happen to others. Not to be mean to them, just to see someone else experiencing it. Once that happens, there'll be an awakening where they will start bombarding you with apologies and regret for how clueless they've been. Nah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But maybe it will. We have another update called Some Progress. Hi all, I said I would update if anything changed, and something has started to. I think my mom has finally woke up and seen the light when it comes to Mike. It was my son's birthday 2 weeks ago, and my mom reached out to say she had got him some presents. I was a little reluctant to accept the presents, as in the past they've all been rugby-based. But she promised that they weren't this time, so I let her come around to my house and give them to my son. Turns out my son is easily bought. LOL. A friend of my mom's had gone to Seoul on holiday in October, and my mom had asked her to bring some Pokemon cards if she could find any. Seoul, Korea. My son loves Asian Pokemon cards and has a whole separate binder just for them. That's what I'm talking about. She brought back, damn, 20 packs for him. My mom also got him a Pokemon backpack and a teddy and a Funko Pop of his favorite Pokemon. She had really put a lot of thought into what he likes and even going to our local car shop and asked there about what to get him. Needless to say, my son was ecstatic. I love this. To me, this showed that she was really trying. And after that, I agreed to meet her for lunch a few days later. She told me that her and my dad were fighting all the time because of Mike. She had put her foot down and said that Mike needs to get a job and stick with it, and that she isn't going to give him any more money. Wow. Wow. My dad defended Mike. No surprise there, and said he just needed more time to find himself. This had led to loads of arguments and my mum going on strike. She isn't cooking for either my dad or Mike and isn't doing their washing or ironing. This is something she had done before when she is royally pissed off. She said that I was right when I told... Wait, hold on. What is this? What is this inequity right here in doing chores? Whatever. She said that I was right when I told her that they weren't helping Mike by babying him and he needed to grow up. Wow. I was a little shocked by this. I am too, but very happy about it. I am speaking to her regularly again, and she seems to be adamant about Mike getting and keeping a job. I'm still a little reluctant to trust her fully, as she could very easily go back to how she was before. But I'm calling this a little bit of progress. My dad still has his head up his arse, though. Arse. 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 No change there. Anyway, I had a spare 10 minutes and thought I'd keep you all updated. We will see how Christmas goes if my mom backs down, but fingers crossed she has turned the corner. Arse. I'm a little kid, guys. Top comment with a singular upvote. This isn't really a top comment. I keep coming back to this post to see if anything has changed. I know from personal experience that when men are made to do women's work, that they break down pretty quickly, but I don't have high hopes for the father in this dynamic. Ooh, OP comments. I've just done an update, but no, my dad hasn't changed at all. Let's read that update. Hi, all. Hi, OP. I said that I would update after Christmas, but life got complicated. I found out I was 4 months pregnant in early January. Yeah. Which was definitely not on my bingo card. Hold on, girl. That means you're 7 months right now. Hold on, girl. Congratulations. And I've been busy trying to get ready for our little boy's arrival. Congratulations, Ophi. Yeah. Kelly is doing great. She's super happy with Jake and is over the moon that she is going to be an auntie again. I saw her over the new year when she stopped off on her way to Edinburgh for Hogmanay. What? Stop making up shit. Which was great. My mom. What is Hogmanay? What? I'm Googling everything today. Let me see this. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. New Year's Eve? Oh, wait. Hogmanay is the Scots word for the last day of the old year and is synonymous with the celebration of the new year in the Scottish manner. It is normally followed by further celebration on the morning of New Year's Day, and in some cases, 2 January? Wikipedia got cut off on the short explanation through the Google portal. Nope. Whoever wrote this article is just a little dumb. Oh, 2 January, a Scottish bank holiday. Okay, I see what that is. In a few contexts, the word hogmanay. No, I did pronounce that right. Shout out to me. And the word hogmanay is used more loosely to describe the entire period consisting of the last few days of the old year and the first few days of the new year. For instance, not all of it's held under the banner of Edinburgh's hogmanay take place on 31st of December. Customs vary throughout Scotland and usually include gift giving and visiting the homes of friends and neighbors, with particular attention given to the first guest of the new year. Oh, okay. The first person to enter the home of a household on New Year's Day. Is seen as a bringer of good fortune coming for the coming year. Oh, this is cool. Similar practices are also found in Greek, Vietnamese, and Georgian New Year traditions. Georgian, the culture of Georgia. Oh, the fucking country, not the state. I'm like, Georgian? This sounds like the country of Georgia, but as I clicked on Georgia, I was like, what? Wikipedia. All right, shout out Hogmanay. All right, where was I at? I'm sorry. My mom, my mom stayed with her sister over Christmas and New Year as she needed a break from Mike and Dad, who went to Dad's parents. Dad is still fully enabling Mike, but Mom has really turned a corner. I think her nearly losing both her daughters and grandchildren got through to her, and she has realized that her and Dad have set Mike up to fail as well. Oh, I'm sorry. As not being fair to us. She is trying to get Mike to get a job and be a productive member of society, but Dad is still giving him money and making his life as easy as possible, so Mike hasn't changed at all. This has led to Mom and Dad arguing Mom. This has led to Mom and Dad arguing constantly, and she decided to be away from them over Christmas. And when she went back, she moved into mine and Kelly's old room. Oh my. She is still on strike, as she puts it, so isn't cooking, washing, cleaning, or really doing anything in the house. I don't know what will happen with Mom and Dad, but things can't stay like they are right now. I've been spending a lot of time with Mom. She has been coming around and making tea 3 to 4 times a week. Her cooking is amazing, so myself and my husband are not complaining. She is also ecstatic about another grandchild. She's making a lot of effort with my son and daughter. My son trying to teach her how to play Pokemon is arguably the funniest thing ever. Me and my daughter couldn't stop laughing. She has also been spending time with my daughter, going to the cinema as my daughter's favorite thing to do. She wrote Kelly a letter apologizing for everything, and they had a long phone conversation in January. Kelly has gone from no contact with her to low contact, which is more than me or Mom thought would ever happen. Myself and Kelly are still no contact with Dad and Mike. And that's about everything. I think Dad is a lost cause, but I'm happy that Mom seems to have turned the corner. That is something. Signal _ historian _ 456 comments. I don't know if it's possible for you, but I think having some room or space for her, just in case she needs it, would be a great idea. I think therapy is needed, if anything. And your dad not giving a crap about losing his daughters and grandchildren speaks volumes. And he obviously doesn't care about his wife. It's at a point where your mom, spell it right. You're a historian. Get it together. Needs to make some plans and decisions for her future because this ship is sinking. OP replies, she has a room at her sister's, which is 5 minutes away from me. And she knows that if she wants to leave, then she can move in with her sister and would have my full support. My auntie's husband, died a few years ago. So she lives alone, and I actually think she would love it if my mom moved in. Mom. Yeah, your mom needs therapy. I think I grasp it now. you have that divide in the older generation coming from Gen X to Gen Y, or Gen what the fuck are boomers again? Gen W, because they won all the money. Yeah, possibly. But OP and her sister and her brother. Wait, no, actually, OP and her brother. No, wait, hold on. Let me go back real quick, you guys. Whoop. My apologies. OP and her brother and her sister. Oh no, her sister is my age. Okay. Or might actually be a little bit older than me. Yeah. OP and her brother and her sister, they're millennials, so their parents are either older Gen X or like the tail end younger Gen W's, boomers. Because my dad is the Gen X, but my mom is technically a boomer. Right there at that cutoff. My mom was robbing the cradle with my dad, but none of your business. Yeah, it's just that divide. It's right where women gets rights around the world, kind of, sort of. So things are different. You, if you've been here for previous episodes, you see that shoot up from the post World War II 50s and 60s to 70s, 80s, 90s, from what 18% in the workplace all the way up to damn near, what was it, 63, nearly 70% in the workplace. But for fucking the 1990s.com bubble, the 2000s, the 07 financial crisis, we can't get women to cross that that barrier, and we see men dropping down in full participation. But I see it's just the way things are categorized. If you work part-time or you're simply trying to get a job but can't get a job, you just aren't counted, right? And part-time, I mean, like you can be working Uber Eats, DoorDash, Shipped. You can be working all those jobs. Amazon. You're a gig worker. You don't get counted. You don't get counted as employed. You are not employed. So, employment is probably like high up there, right? It's probably like high up there for this country, in particular, where I live. But what am I thinking, guys? The OP's mom needs therapy, and if she can force their dad, I need to hydrate my hair, I can feel it, into getting couples counseling, that would be great. And then the son needs like extensive therapy. The entire family should get therapy, to be completely honest with you. Shit is like great for me. Well, I haven't, that's why I haven't come out, and I've just been you know, ooh. I just haven't been. No, let me stop. Let me think. Let me think. Yeah, therapy is necessary. Hopefully the brother like gets arrested for doing some dumb shit and he gets forced into counseling, because they're not here in America, so I don't know how things are over in the UK. I don't even know what I was going for with that one, about saying it like that. Yeah. It's needed. It's needed. We're done with this story. I hope you enjoyed it. We're over in r/am I the asshole with an H, with a post by no_kiwi_2. Am I the asshole for announcing our pregnancy at my brother's wedding after he proposed at mine? My brother said he was going to propose at my wedding. I told him no, that it was a day about myself and my wife, and we did not want any distractions. My mom lost her shit. She said that he wanted family he might not see again for a while to be a part of the proposal. I said I did not give a shit, and that if he did, I would have him kicked out. He did it, and my mom said if I tried kicking him out, she would leave too. I remember seething inside. My brother got married last weekend. Instead of a welcome to the family toast, I used the time to announce that we were expecting our first baby. My mom was upset, but my grandmother told her to sit down and shut up. We spent most of the reception talking to family we would not see again for a while about our coming baby. My mom says I was an asshole for taking attention away from my brother on his wedding day. She got really mad when I reminded her that she threatened to leave my wedding if I kicked him out after he proposed. I have the screenshots of the text messages. Embody that pettiness always. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is how you should be, people. Oh, I love it. You know what? You know what? Since OP's being a villain, here's the fit of the day. Fit check. Fit check. You see the villain, don't you love it? Don't you love to see him? Don't you love to see him? Ooh. It's me and you here, Eddie. It's us. It's two. You know the meme. You know the meme.
For the last time, Parker, our pronouns are they, them. Not because we are non-binary, but because we are literally two niggas.
I love it. Ooh, I feel it. I feel the energy. I feel it deep in my soul. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me on my wedding day. Ooh, I love it. 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 Don't fuck around with me on my wedding day. Top comment by a deleted user. The tidbit about grandma's funny. I'd like to know more. 19,000 upvotes. Liz Chi-Town replies to that. Yes, grandma was the queen. Everybody commenting. His grandma was the MVP. Not the asshole, by the way. The brother and his mother were out of line. And he did warn him not to do it. And he did it. Actions bring consequences. This is the truth. This is the truth. I love it. Let me see. Open_ring_8613 comments. My grandmother was like this, and I miss her daily because she protected me from my NPD mother. She also had great one-liners like, bitches get shit done, and a woman can run faster with her skirt up than a man can run with his pants down. Oh, how I miss her. She was a badass and my best friend. I lived with her most of life because of NPD mother. NPD. NPD. Oh, narcissistic personality disorder. Oh my. That dash essayist replies, same. Being raised by her formed me in a billion ways. She effectively cut both my mom and my aunt off because they chose to be toxic people, and they both did awful crap to me and others. That woman loved me 10 times more than I ever deserved. I'm spinal cord disabled, and if you think people are weird to get pregnant persons normally, if you think people are weird to pregnant persons normally, stick that belly on someone obviously mobility disabled, wheelchair or forearm crutches, it mattered not. I used to be really open in answering random questions, thinking I could educate, but then I realized I was just reinforcing awful behavior. I remember one time during my pregnancy, a woman came up to me in line at Costco and started with, "How did you even get pregnant?" Even? I looked at her brightly and said, "Oh, I got bent over and fucking railed like a porn star." How do able people do it? This woman got all pissed off and huffed and said, "Well, you don't have to be rude about it," and stormed off, to which I called after and said, "Neither did you, ma'am." My grandma howled. The following week, we were in a different store, and this woman came up to me and asked how far along I was. I told her, and then she told me my belly was too big. Oh, gee, thanks. My doctor disagreed. My gram was on a different aisle, so she missed the whole thing, including this woman's follow-up of, "Your birth is going to be just awful. You poor thing." When Graham came back, she could tell I was upset, and she was as done as I was with the ableist bullshit at this point. All 5 feet of her tensed up as she asked me what the woman looked like. And when I wouldn't answer her, she started marching up and down the aisles just looking for people to accost. The time I got into it with a cop who didn't know the laws around accessible parking was good too. I asked him to quote me the law. He said I was breaking. It didn't exist. And wouldn't back down. He kept getting more and more flustered, towering over this pissed off, purple-haired, pregnant badger in his face and intentionally blocking me from even leaning on my car. My voice is getting louder and people are stopping to watch. I hear this thump and I look over and Graham performatively dropped her head onto the roof of the car. She even told me later she was trying to add up the bail money in her head. What? How did that look? I'm so curious. We lost her 4 years ago, right before COVID lockdown, during which time my ex almost took my life. Damn, girl. She was helping me raise that very baby I was pregnant with in all those stories. My daughter and I are still absolutely mirrored in grief. It feels like everything in our world broke when she died. And like most of the love in the world for me is just gone now. But all this hurt is absolutely worth it for the experience of having her in my life. I forgot the original story. It would be so dope if she told more stories about her grandma. Let's read some more comments, guys, that OP has replied to. So, has your mom always favored your brother? TWGAND, frozen. What does that mean? Two dragon, two DG and frozen. OP replies, yes, especially after I moved to a different country for work. Oh, interesting. 10-pound balls replies, if this is real, respect you and your wife for cooperation. Compovulation. What the fuck? CUMPOVULATION. What? And you both for timing this new human perfectly. Oh. Compilation. Copulation. That's what they mean. We got an update. I'm moving on from this. People copulating. Updates. Okay, so some bad news and some amazing news. Bad news, my brother figured out that we weren't really pregnant at his wedding, and he is livid, as is his wife. I don't really care. I know it's childish, but he started it. The amazing news. We are pregnant for real. Yeah. We were pregnant at the wedding, but we didn't know. Thanks again for validating my immature and vengeful nature. I guess I have to grow up now. Sorry for the short post, but I'm so excited I didn't almost post at all. Oh, shit. Best comment, not top comment, best comment by Pretzel Mama. They're quoting OP. My brother figured out that we weren't really pregnant at his wedding, but you were. That's the story, and you're sticking to it. OP replies, it was technically true. The tackle zone replies to that. Just don't deny it when he says you were not pregnant. Just say, okay, dude, you figured us out. Let him get madder and madder. His face in 9 months will be priceless. And then you can grow up. uh, everybody is congratulating OP. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We got a deleted user asking, what did your mom say when you confronted her to her own behavior at your wedding, though? OP replies, she was so angry that I was using an event that wasn't about me for attention. My mom is not self-aware. Everybody was either raised poorly or needs therapy now. Olivia _ Bisui in comments. When I read shit like this, I'm grateful for going no contact with my family 18 years ago. OP comments. I'm getting there. Ooh. That KEHD Riley comments. First, congrats for real. Second, I need to know, how did he figure it out? And what was your mother's reactions? Also curious, how long between the wedding and knowing you were for real expecting? OP replies, my wife and I are active and post tons of pictures. His wife pointed out that there's no way in hell that my wife's stomach was as flat as it was at over 5 months pregnant. She is actually just about 3 months. My mother was apologetic, but we live far away from most of the drama. That's a win. That's a win. KG Talker replies to OP saying, I find it hilarious that your sister-in-law went through all your photos after her wedding. It consumed her so much that she spent her honeymoon stalking your photos. Does she not at least see her husband started this to begin with? Of course not, because she married that dumbass brother. A moored alchemist. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Armored Alchemist 611. Well, if you're going no contact with your mother and brother, then she's going down to just one son. And she better hope that golden child of hers takes care of her in her old age or gives her a grandkid, same thing. But where's your dad in all of this? OP comments the sad shit that's going to make me move on from this. He passed away during COVID. That sucks. We got another update. It's a short update. So for any of you that may still be interested, we had our daughter today. Both my wife and daughter are doing well. 9 pounds, 7 ounces. All 10 toes and all 10 fingers. My brother and sister-in-law are still pissed. My grandmother was the first one besides my wife and I to hold Emily Ann. Thank you all for your kindness and support. Happy New Year's. I love happy stuff like this. Top comment or best comment. Fuck, I need to. Is there any way I can default this to just top comments? Oh man, because I control F to like search each OPs for each individual story's comments, and then I like scroll and I scroll to load like all the comments. That's when I hit my search. So I didn't realize that everything was set to best. I'm so used to saying top comment because this is like episode number 9 this time around. Like it's crazy. Was every previous episode top comments? I think they were. This best thing must be new. I don't know. Mess09 comments with 33K upvotes. The fact it isn't spelled Emily Ann makes this even better. Emily spelled EMAYLEIGH and spelled AHENNE. People, don't. I will go back in time and bully the shit out of your kids if you spell their names like this. I will regress with only my thoughts that I should bully misspelled names like this, right? So it won't be like a 30-year-old man in a 10-year-old's body. That shit is weird. Hey, for my fans in Japan, when I get you, if you see this episode, tell your mangakas to stop writing weird ass stories where somebody goes back in time, they reincarnate into a alternate universe as a child, and they're fucking 45 in a 5-year-old's body, and then they end up with a harem. That shit is weird. That shit is weird. One more time. That shit is weird. OP replies, yeah, no tragedy for us. And tragedy is spelled Tragedieh. I had to really think hard what the fuck he was saying with this one. Oh, I had to think so hard with that, bro. Everybody's congratulating OP. Oh man, there's not even anything really relevant here. Smiley Canadian says, congratulations. I hope in the wedding photos your hands are on your wife's belly to suggest she was pregnant. And OP comments, we totally did that and we laughed about it. God has a sense of humor. Oh my God. Guano Loco replies to OP, just seeing this story for the first time and laughed at the we were actually pregnant but didn't know it part. That happened with us. We were riding a shuttle back from a baseball game to where our car was parked, and a couple of really drunk guys were trying to get us to come party with them. They seemed fine, but just overly enthusiastic. They also wouldn't accept my polite refusal and just kept pressing us until my wife says, I can't drink, I'm pregnant. Then it was all effusive congratulations and high fives. We laughed and went on our way. Found out the next day she actually was pregnant. Funny how that works out. Congrats on the kiddo. Life is going to get weird and fun. I don't understand this comment. The deleted user replies, God, the devil, and Bob. Oop. I got rid of that. Didn't mean to. Oop. Grandma was in Mexico when the baby was born. So technically she missed the birth. That kind of sucks. Hopefully my mom will get to see her first great-grandchildren. My grandma passed when I was a kid, so. All right, no sad shit for y'all. No sad shit. All happy good times. All happy good times. Happy good times. We're over in Am I the Asshole with a post by kind_ground3549. Am I the asshole for rescinding our gift for sister-in-law's wedding? My spouse and I have been planning on booking our Europe trip for April 2026. We finalized all of our tickets and reservations in November 2025. Around the same time in November, my sister-in-law announced that they would have their wedding in October 2026. My spouse and I immediately offered as an early wedding gift to pay for them to travel with us on our European vacation, including flights, hotels, and activities. Ooh, you got money. The sister-in-law refused. It would be weird, and they prefer to save their PTO for another destination they have yet planned. Fair enough. This Thursday, literally, the last full week of March, the sister-in-law called and said they changed their minds and wanted to redeem our offer and tag along. Our trip is literally in less than 2 weeks. I looked up the last-minute flight and tickets and hotels, and everything is massively expensive now. We literally would have to spend almost $4,000 more than if we had booked for them in November 2025. I told my spouse I no longer wanted to pay for that. We're doing well for ourselves, but that is a ridiculous dollar difference. Ugh, I volunteered to be the bad person that told them we could no longer offer that gift to them. Inevitably, drama ensued, and the entire vibe is very awkward at the moment. Some family members sympathized with me, while others said along the line, well, if it's just the thing with weddings, everything's expensive, and you offered. Am I the asshole? What the fuck? Well, it's just the thing with weddings. Everything's expensive, and you offered. Well, it's just the thing with weddings. Everything is expensive, and you off. What the fuck? Go band for band with me, then. What's in your bank account? Let's go band for band right now. What's in your? Pull out your wallet. I want to see what's in your Cash App. I want to see what's in your 401k. I want to see what's in your Roth IRA. Let's go band for band right now. I will smack you hard in the face with money. Why are you pocket watching me, bitch? Fuck you. Don't mind your motherfucking business. Mind your motherfucking business, bitch. Mind your motherfucking business. Matter of fact, when you have somebody whining in your ear, how about you do God's work and tell that person, hey, you're being fucking stupid. You're being dumb. I just had to have a conversation with my boy the other day. Right? He just had a breakup. And this is like my day 5, bro. All my day 1s, 2s, and 3s and 4s are dead to me. But me and bro go back a decade. A decade. I'm about 2 years into the camera shit. I'm 2 years into my craft, into my art. 3 years technically. I wonder if I can find like the very first ever picture I took of him. Right. But this is my brother now. Right. 2026, this is my brother. I claim him like that. And he just went through a breakup. Right. And I am thoroughly on his side. I'm like, feel your feelings, feel your emotions. I want you to express them and feel them. And here I am with you. But as soon as he started saying some inaccurate shit, some statistically wrong shit, I'm like, nope. I gotta stop you on that one. Nope. I gotta check you on that one. Nope. We gotta stay in reality over here. Because I would not be a good person, a good friend, if I let him be in la la land and be upset and let these incorrect thoughts guide his feelings and emotions. He will maneuver through life thinking the wrong shit. And the next time something happens or just anything is relevant to those thoughts, to those incorrect ideas that he would believe as facts, he's going to continue to move like that. And that is hurtful to the world as a whole. We have to root out bullshit, lies, all this misinformation, disinformation bullshit, just lies, period. People lie for money all the time. And it weasels its way into our society and it causes real harm to people. We have to get rid of that immediately. These people right here in this story are fucking entitled. Bitch, I offered it to you almost half a year ago. Almost a whole half a fucking year ago. I planned a cross-country international trip because these people are talking about going on a European vacation. They're saying dollar with the dollar symbol. They're from here. They're from America. We're crossing the Atlantic motherfucking ocean to go on vacation, and you declined. You said you wanted to use your PTO for other shit, and you're like, hey, so can you grab those tickets for us? Can you pay for all those things you said you're going to pay for us? I will cuss you the fuck out and say I'm not even coming to your wedding. You must be out your goddamn motherfucking mind, bitch. Ooh. Remember how I was sleepy at the beginning of the episode, guys? And I said I woke up? Nah, this shit woke me the fuck up. Where are we at? Top comments. Oh, hey. Yeah, not best comment, top comment. Good job, man. By Reasonable Dash Sale 8611 with 5.6K of votes. You offered, they declined. End of story. They don't get to come back and undecline at the cost of thousands of dollars to you. Ooh. Let's Dance 40 replies to that. How do people not know how to reply to something like this? Quote unquote, I wish you had accepted our offer in November. Unfortunately, we cannot change our reservations just 2 weeks prior to travel. I should have said quote and then said the quote and then said end quote. It doesn't matter. Meh. Drawkward? Oh, no. Oh, you guys. These usernames. Dr. Awkward 1011 replies. Oh, no, 101. Dr. Awkward 101 replies to that. I just simply can't wrap my head around this kind of entitlement. Genuinely. Do they not see how everything has climbed up in price drastically since the Iran war stuff started? Also, 2 week away flights are basically already at last minute pricing, even if there wasn't an additional conflict messing with global economics. Sheesh. Ooh, Jar 086 replies to that. I do not get this either. I grew up upper middle class and never, ever was I given cash sums like that, especially by a sibling. I had a rich old nana and she gave me a washing machine for my wedding, and I was thankful as fuck for and used daily for 7 years, then sold it for a couple hundred. I can't even imagine demanding cash like that from my relatives ever. I have never been gifted anything this extravagant ever. This is wild. And to top off the money grab, it appears they're going around stirring shit in the family. I would go low contact with these people and get into marriage counseling if my partner didn't completely understand why and support me. OP made such a generous offer with such love, and her sister-in-law is a snake. I'm sorry for that. Y'all might hate that. I'm sorry. $4,000 in difference is crazy. I wonder how much it initially was anyway. Let me see if I can find out. Whoop. From Detroit to Europe. I type like a child, you guys. Ignore me. Ignore if you hear my typing and it sounds like, what? This motherfucker types with one finger? Detroit to Europe flights. Let's go to kayak.com. And I want to plan this. Oh, do I even want a cheap flight? What is it? Let's go September. Search. Wait, 0 bags? No, we're not doing that. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. 2 adults. Round trip. Update. Oh, flight start at $700 a person? That's crazy. Hostels each day start at $269 for Paris. Madrid, Spain is still $700, but hotels start at $500. Wait, what does it mean by total? Are they saying total for the day, or it's going to take me to hotels.com. Stop it. Expedia. I'm trying to collect all my, yeah. These are like 400, 500. Yeah. Let me see, because I didn't even add in bags. Bags will go crazy. Let me go backwards. Sorry, you guys. Let me add some bags. Carry-on bags, 2 carry-on bags. I can only do 1 carry-on bag? That's crazy. But it's 2 people traveling. What? And we're not doing economy. We're gonna do business. 1 carry-on bag. You can only do 2 check bags through kayak? Man, what the fuck? Search. Wow, the Paris is still only starts at $700. That's interesting. Oh, it immediately shot up to a band. Band. Here's 900. Here's 1200, 1200, 1200, 13, 13, 13. I'm rounding up this time, you guys. I'm sorry. And this 1270, really. These are nonstop 8-hour flights. What's this 930 flight? What is this? WestJet? Oh, it has a singular stop or 2 stops. Yeah, Ryanair and WestJet. I've never heard of these. I think I would probably do Air France though for like $12.55, and that's only with my ad blocker stopped me from opening it up. And that's only with one carry-on, but the carry-on is included. So if we add, oh wait, here we go. So we add one carry-on, and let's see if I can max out my check bags real quick. Okay, so one carry-on bag and 2 check bags. Damn. 1,500, 1,600, 15, 16, 16, 16, 1,590, 16, 16, 16. All these 1,600 prices are 1,615. Damn. Delta, 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 JetBlue, Air France. Ooh. Air France is the cheapest. Oh, wait, no, JetBlue is 1,516. How is Air France not cheapest? Because Air France is 1,509. What the fuck? Are you paying $200 per check bag? That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm sorry. This is per person. Ooh, I'm so sorry. This is each individual person. So it's 3 racks for 2 people. So you get 1 check bag and you can do 2 check. You get 1 carry on and you can do 2 check bags. It's going to be $1,500 for just you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This, I'm scheduling this in August. September? September. Ooh. Ooh. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Oh my God. That's insane. Hell no. Hell no. We got a comment by Man's Gates. Not the asshole. Remember my grandmother's motto. She who wouldn't when she could, couldn't when she would. And OP replies, that is beautiful. Substantial _ dance comments. They not only declined your generous offer, but said it was weird. So why is it suddenly not weird anymore? Not the asshole. OP replies, thank you for your thoughts. I assume when they said weird, they meant it would be like a long, awkward double date. But I agree. Why not weird now? And Saint Nowhere replies, I'm guessing they realize what an overseas honeymoon would cost them right now, and the threshold of weirdness they were willing to deal with adjusted. Haha. Whew. Love cilantro comments, not the asshole. I just find it funny that you're that you replaced a European trip, flights, accommodations, and activities with a KitchenAid. OP replies, my sister-in-law. Wait, did I miss something? Whoop. Oh, we got an update. I did miss something. Thank you, folks, for your thoughts and for suggesting the option to offer my sister-in-law the original dollar amount that we would have paid for them in November. Overwhelmed in our fluster and frustration, we didn't even think of that. We will offer to gift them the money plus the KitchenAid we already bought as a replacement gift. We honestly don't want any drama and hope this will be water under the bridge. You're going to give them over $3,000? Wait, how long was this trip supposed to be? Hold on. How long was this trip supposed to be? You don't say. I'm gonna assume a week. If I assume 7 days, you guys, what's seven times $500? All right, because that's the hotel price. This is $500 before fees and all the extra bullshit. That's $3,500. $1,500 at a minimum per flight per person for fucking carry on 2 check bags. 15, so 15, 3,000 plus 3,500. So you're gonna give these people $6,500. I want to throw up. I want to fucking throw up. Let's go back to that comment. My sister-in-law mentioned to their mom that they have been wanting the KitchenAid for some time. Where we live, KitchenAid costs start from $400 to $500. We didn't really want my mother-in-law to pay that much, so when sister-in-law said no to our vacation offer, we bought the KitchenAid instead. I want to fucking throw up. Oh my God. This post is only 22 days old. I really hope you didn't give these people that money. That's all the comments. I really hope you didn't give these people that money. Give that money to me. When you go to their posts, wait, hold on. Am I tripping, boss? Yes. When you go to their, not their posts. When you go from their post to their account, they have their account set up so you can't see anything. They like to keep their comments and their posts hidden. So if they have an update, I won't know. If they have any more comments buried, hold on. Let me see. Is there anything I can expand? I won't know. I have to like go through every single thing where there are multiple replies like blocked off. 1 plus more replies here and there, and some. Hold on. I just need to see if OP replied anymore. This is crazy fucking work to me. I am so angry. Ooh. Fucking. People have cheap weddings. Have cheap weddings so you can do expensive honeymoons. That's the moral of the story. Do cheap weddings. Cheap weddings is the way, right? So if you were expecting to spend $2,000 on like a venue, $2,000 on like a church rental for a day, and then like $10,000 for like a venue for a day to get married, and then thousands of dollars for like catering, decorations, and all that, and then like insurance. You can easily take that hot 15 to 20 grand. I found some more comments from OP. And they're not relevant. Fucking so annoying. Take that 15 to 20,000 and go on vacation. Cause from what you can see, you can take your happy ass to Europe, right? With you can have 1 carry-on, 2 check bags, right? Your flight will be $1,500, and that's the current prices right now because things are probably crazy. Jet fuel is probably very expensive right now. Who knows what it was last year? I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to look it up because I already spent enough time looking at shit. Blah, right? You can look it up if you want to. What it was a couple of years ago, the price is just going to keep going up. Companies here in America, they're legally responsible, legally liable. They have to continue to make profit year over year. And if they aren't maximizing that, they will be held legally liable. Dodge v. Ford, 1920, I believe. That precedent has been set. And if they aren't making profit every quarter, every year, people will get fucking booted. People may even get taken to court. So take that 20,000, right? As you can see, hotel, 3 racks for a week. Was it 3 racks? Yeah, it was 3 racks. Flights, $1,500. That's $4,500. You and your wife, right? That immediately becomes $6,500, right? You had 15 to 20, right? What do you have now? What do you have now? I'm doing the math in my head as I'm talking. That's 8,500 to 13,500. So that's 8 racks minimum. To let's just say you stretch it, you throw 500 on a credit card to 14 maximum. Okay, you can go crazy. You get a bunch of clothes, ship that shit home like it's nothing. Make sure you double rack it, ziplock it, wrap it, and ship it out. Well, don't ziplock any bags. Right? They may X-ray it and think it's fucking drugs. Don't do that. But if you're gonna have 2 carry-on, you can just have like a bunch of PJs, like some throwaway joints, and chuck that shit once you get there and you finish wearing it. Toss it to some recyclables, to some, I don't know. I'm not sure how they do things over there. You can give it away, right? You can give it to charity. You can give it to donations. You can donate it. That's the word I'm looking for. And you can get all brand new gear with 8 bands, 4 to 14 bands. You need to enjoy your honeymoon. Get them illegal sex pills and ick for a whole week straight. Pop them babies out. Knock your wife up. Yeah, it's time for me to cook dinner. You guys, I appreciate you being here, listening to me ramble on my regular bullshit. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys get as much sleep as you possibly can. You get as much water, food that you need. Things aren't too expensive for you these days out. If you can, absolutely buy a bike because the price of gas is going to keep going up. If you can, get get solar panels added to your roof. If you can, get some thermal heating installed, or get some electric heating installed. If you can, and get you some batteries, get you some UPS systems, uninterrupted power systems that you can plug your computers up to. Get you some solar panels you can hook up to your windows, right? So you can charge your phones up, right? So things just become cheaper for you. Private equity is coming for all of us, right? So I need you to make upfront cost decisions while prices are still as low as they can be actively today, so you can offset costs for the future, because things are going to stay expensive and continue to get more expensive for the next year to 3 years as people continue to estimate how fucked up things are going to be because of AI and all the tomfoolery, quote unquote, tomfoolery overseas. Yeah, not in Europe though. Not in Europe. They like to call that place the Middle East. Man, that's so fucking dumb, right? Just say Africa. Just say Asia, right? These people are African and Asian. Just say that. All right. You beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people. You need to be educated, idiotic people. I want you to have a beautiful day, night, week, month, and year. I have been Mr. Always on 10, and this has been the Intelligent Idiots Podcast. Thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you next week.